almost there. Still working out that transition. 1 second. I see the problem. Okay, we're going to be getting started in just a second here. There we go. Thank you. Okay. We'll try that one more time for posterity. I'm trying to get this transition to work correctly. Okay, so there's the intro. And then back to the scene. Okay, looks like that's working correctly, finally. Okay. Hi everybody, hope you guys are doing okay. Sorry, is already up to 900. Respect the grind there. So close to 1,000, I bet you get there over the course of the evening. So let me just make sure that all the chat windows are ready to go. Bring this over here, that over here as well. There, and this. And I think we're still getting that audio issue from before, so let me see if I can fix that very quickly. Yes, okay. So let's bring this back up to, I think we were set at 80 last time. Okay, so now, should be good. Okay, I'm just gonna test one thing just for posterity. This will help me out for next time. So it's gonna go back to the intro scene and then right back to the game. 1 second. Okay, now we're going to go back to the game. Just curious if it retains the sound there. Hopefully it will. I'm seeing one other issue. Boom. Okay, perfect. Hello everybody, hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode / expedition in Expedition 33 Clair Obscur. I am, as I'm sure you are aware if you've been following the stream, extremely obsessed with this game. I adore it, and I am looking forward to diving into it further with y'all. It's been somewhat agonizing, honestly, waiting for this stream, because I wanted so badly to dive into it and continue exploring the world, and I've had to restrain myself. But, you know, I think it's going to be worth it. I did just kind of spend a little bit more time exploring this particular space and doing some mock battles on PlayStation in the meantime. Looking forward to getting a chance to see Mael's new abilities and see how they synergize with the rest of the team. But yeah, hope you guys have all had a great week. Be curious to know what's going on in y'all's lives. Sorry, I hope you're feeling well. I hope your recovery is going well. Hope the new arrivals, the goats and all of that, are doing well as well. Yeah, how is everything going on your end? I'll do a little intro for folks who might be new, and then I want to adjust the chat settings real quick. I'm trying out a new chat box, but then we can get started. So first of all, for folks who are checking out the stream for the first time, welcome. Thank you so much for checking it out, for stopping by. My name is John. I'm a game developer. I've been working in the games industry for 10-ish years now. I've been working on small indie projects as well as larger AAA projects, and I find that games in general are a powerful medium for storytelling and for art, as well as for fun and entertainment. And I find games like the Dark Souls series and games like Clair Obscur to be really inspiring. So I want to talk about them and share the things that I like about them with you folks. The aim of this stream is going to be to just play the game and experience it from, you know, a player's perspective, but also to try to provide some insight into the challenges that game developers face, and how I think, in my opinion, the folks at Sandfall might have approached some of those challenges. Also, the techniques and the skills and the ways in which this particular team approached bringing this world to life, looking for things that they do particularly well and trying to call attention to those, while also looking to, you know, appreciate things like character design, costume design, texture work, lighting, all of that. I'm not an expert on all those things. My specialty is in sound design and even and in tech and programming, and how do you say, technical design is probably the best term to describe what I do. But so I'm not trying to say I'm an expert in all these things by any means, but I can appreciate some of the shared struggles, so to speak, of the game development process. And when a game like this comes along that's just so consistently well executed, I have to say something about it. In particular, I find games that have a what I would describe as a unity or a consistency of direction to be particularly compelling. My favorite games and the games that I think are like technically and artistically the strongest are those in which there's a shared direction that's consistent in all aspects of the game. So the sound design, the user interface and user experience design, the character design, the acting, performing, etc. Everything is all part of a unified shared vision. And functions consistently and cohesively together. I think that so far, based on what I've seen, we're about 5-ish hours into the game. Clair Obscur has that consistency of vision, and something that I've talked about before is like even something as quote unquote simple as the design of the like user interface elements, like these little character cards. Just take a quick look at how kind of soft and gentle the transition between each of these individual tabs is, and how each one of them kind of comes alive with a little flurry of almost like golden ink that's oscillating, or like I don't know what the word for it is, but it's like it's moving in a liquid fashion behind the plate of the character's name. Everything. And look at the color scheme. Look at that particular shade of black with the gray highlights and the gold, and then you can see those same colors being used on the character's outfits, right? You can see that same kind of painter's brush touch applying to so many different parts of the game. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So I would encourage folks who are playing this game at home, who are watching, listening along, to look for things in the game that maybe I might not notice as well, that are kind of evidence, so to speak, of that consistency of vision, of that consistency of design. That's that's sort of what I find particularly inspiring about this game. So we are going to start off, as a recap of last time. We've just joined up with our third party member, Maël, who I believe is the ward or guardian, or the I think the ward is the right term, right? Gustav is her guardian, and now that they have reunited, Gustav has gone through a bit of an experience of kind of, I think, coming to grips with the nature of the harsh reality that he's in. He's kind of awoken from a bit of a stupor, shout out to Minato, and has now regained his like fervor for defending and protecting and reuniting with his family, something that we talked about last time. And now I think I'm coming at this with fresh eyes, so I'm not sure what we're going to see next, but I'm very curious to see. Stop talking in a second and we can get started with the adventure. Let me just catch up with chat real quick. And yeah, so one thing I want to do before we get started, one little bit of housekeeping, is just to make the chat a little bit more like fade over time, to give it a little bit more motion so it's not there on the screen the whole time. So let me just do that. It'll take about 2 minutes. I think I already have it loaded. I just need to access it. 1 sec. Of course, the mouse is acting weird because of the game window. Sorry, it says in the meantime, she's not just my daughter. She's like you for real. Do you mean like she's like you for real, like me for real? Yeah, you seem to identify very strongly with this character. I'm very curious to see, I have a bit of a sense of your personality from us like hanging out in Sage's server and talking on stream and all that, but I am genuinely very curious to see like how Maël winds up relating, like how you wind up sympathizing with her, so to speak, or connecting with her. Let's see. Oh, I'm very sorry about the quick motion there. All right, let's see. Does that work? Unfortunately, it seems like this is giving me a bit of trouble. 1 sec. Let me try this. Okay, there we go. Okay, it just didn't like me multitasking with the scope on like that. Okay. So, yeah, but Sorry also says, the goats are good, me too. Though I was in critical pain yesterday. Oh no, I'm sorry. My mom started taking apart the bed, or their bed, to move it. The room is small, bed is big. My dad, sis, niece, and nephew were doing farm work. And her feet, yeah. I did play the English dub, and I heard them saying Lune. Oh my god, it's Lune, everybody. It's hilarious. So I understand your pain now. But yeah, I'm really sorry. Did you not have a place to rest because you just didn't have a bed at all? That's awful. Hopefully you're feeling okay today. But your family was kind of helping out with the farm work, it sounds like. At least you have like a bit of a helping hand there. Let's see, patches. Okay, hide after. Let's do 90. Okay, I think this is everything that I needed. So let me bring this over here to box chat. Put that in there. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna send a test message. So that goes. Okay, showing up. Yeah, so I think that should be good. Maybe get like a little bit smaller to the side. Okay. All right, thank you for your patience there. I think we should be ready to go. A sec. Double check. I just get a little nervous. I want to make sure that I'm like verifying everything before we start. Okay. Because then we can just kind of like kick back and enjoy things low key. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Do you think there's a particular reason why Luna was, or I'm sorry, Lune was left barefoot? I'm guessing that there is a deliberate choice, and I'm guessing that it has something to do with the fact that, well, maybe because she's capable of hovering around, you know, she's not as tethered to the earth as some other characters might be, that she potentially, you know, has less of a need for protective footwork, or footwear, rather. I wonder if that's part of it. Anyway, yeah, let's get started. Let's see what the game has in store for us this evening. Very, very excited to get going. Oh shit, I was gonna learn more about the Pictos and stuff. Oh, hang on. Is the game audio not coming through?
Arrête ça, grosse tête de plumeau. Tu vois pas qu'ils sont humains? Noko en fait toujours des tonnes, mais si vous êtes sympa, il vous échangera des objets utiles contre de la chroma. Alors les contes sont vrais. Peut-être que les grandis et esquiers existent aussi. Y a-t-il d'autres gestrales comme toi? J'adorerais les rencontrer. Oh, Noko, gros bêta. Leur village est tout près. Oh, vraiment?
Lune.
Je sais. On n'a pas le temps de faire un détour.
Oui, on doit atteindre la pâtresse.
La pâtresse?
Tu dis qu'il y a une autre mer entre ici et la pâtresse? Noko, toi qui es le meilleur marchand gestral, tu dois bien avoir une solution, non? Allez, tête de plumeau, je sais que tu sais.
Bien, tu pourras rencontrer d'autres gestrales.
I'm noticing one small issue. 1 second. I think I see. 1 sec. Yes, okay. Okay. I admit that I'm slightly resistant to that character's vocal treatment. I like the design. I like how the paintbrush head seems to be kind of like flowing almost like underwater. I think it fits the overall theme of the level quite nicely. I think that there might have been an opportunity for them to explore some more sound design, different sound design choices with that particular voice. It sounded to me to be pretty, I guess, like, not throwing shade at anybody on the audio team or anything like that, but sometimes when you get to a certain point in a project, you don't have much resources or much time to devote to, like, bringing in more actors or investing in like expensive equipment to do intricate audio processing. Sometimes you will literally just kind of have to sit at your desk and just record with whatever you have on hand and get something into the game. And sometimes when you do that, people kind of fall in love with it and it sticks. And I'm not sure if that's what is specifically happening here, but it does feel a little bit to me like it was something that might have been a temporary thing that then just wound up kind of sticking through to the game. It doesn't quite sound as polished and as I don't know, as designed and as like I guess, like, intricately crafted as some of the visuals and other things that we're seeing here. I think, actually, I was talking to a friend about this earlier, that I saw this particular character somewhere, and I was like, oh, if the game is full of characters like this, then it's probably like a JRPG or whatever, and I'm burned out on JRPGs, so I'm not going to play it. So I will admit going forward that I'm very heavily biased against, like, little gooby goober characters who have high-pitched voices. But that's my own personal bias, and I'm going to try to remain open-minded. Just understand that I might be a little harsh on the little guy. 1 second. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Oh, sorry, it says, also, it was her and Papa's bed. She randomly moves furniture, but she's also recovering from a knee replacement. So, like, neither of us should be doing this. She might be where my Asperger's comes from, TBH. Yeah, I think you mentioned that beforehand, right? That, like, your mom is the sort of person where she doesn't want to sit still. Like, she will get out of bed and make things worse for herself rather than just, like, actually taking the time to heal because she doesn't want to stay put. My mom was the same way, so I can sympathize. Generally think she's undiagnosed, which is ironic because she gives me a hard time. Yeah, you've mentioned that. She can be particularly harsh and I think, like, pretty mean from what you told me. I'm very sorry that that's the case. But, I mean, I don't know how personal you want to get, but have you considered having a conversation with her and asking if she'd like to talk to somebody, or is she open to exploring, like, learning more about it in a professional sense? I'm guessing not, otherwise it probably would have happened already, right? Anyway, I hope that's an option. It's never too late to find somebody to talk to help you with things. So let's see. The game is telling us that Gestral merchants travel across the world, offering rare and powerful artifacts in exchange for chroma. Oh, finally. Okay, so that was one thing I was wondering about. So far, we've collected quite a bit of chroma, and have had nothing to spend it on. And it's not a criticism per se, but it is kind of weird to me. A lot of games will give you an opportunity to spend currency very quickly. It's interesting to me that we haven't had any use for currency until this point, especially with chroma also being something that exists outside, like in the main in Lumiere, right? So I'm curious if, like, people in Lumiere actually use chroma for currency. It doesn't seem to be something that uniquely belongs on the continent, but we'll see. However, their most powerful items are reserved only for the mightiest of warriors. Impress the merchant by defeating them in a duel. Oh, that's kind of cool. I actually really like that. Let's see. Okay, and to be clear, I do like his design a lot. The paintbrush head, the mannequin, like, you know what he kind of reminds me of is, I don't know what the term for it is, but there are those sort of, like, wooden models that are used by artists to kind of create poses for sketching and drawing. And it does look quite similar to that. So I'm wondering if that's deliberate. It feels like a very nicely designed little creature. And it also has, like, the little Dark Souls style patches squat there. There's a nice little bit of storytelling happening here on his back too, looking at all the different things he has. He's got kind of like an old, slightly... No, it's in pretty good condition. You know, that bike that's on his back looks like a fishing line, a violin case, a bunch of nice little items there. So... and some, what looks like some bottles of liquor or maybe paint supplies. Yeah, it's a very charming kind of character, a very nicely designed character, and the little lamp as well to kind of help him potentially navigate, but also to manatee. I didn't see the manatee before, I don't think. Sorry, sorry, to help him navigate. So. Yeah, I think it's a very nicely designed character. I just don't like the voice. I'm trying to see if there's any other sea creatures. 1 second. That's nice. We're getting a little bit of, like, water rushing feedback in the sound. That's nice.
On peut s'en servir.
Oh yeah, not to be negative or anything. So beautiful. Hello, friend. Not to be negative. When I was playing in English, I did find it pretty silly, like in the intro area. If you run around, if you actually are, like, trying to play through the game at a decent speed, your characters will constantly be saying, "Oh, that could be useful. Oh, that could be useful. Oh, that could be useful." Like, there's only 1 or 2 variations of the voiceover line for picking up an object like that. So it gets pretty silly pretty quickly. But I mean, that's just like a fairly normal, fairly expected limitation. It's unfortunate, but you know, also just usually a budget thing. Does Noko mean anything in French? Sorry, is it like a pun or something like that? The shape from favorite swears. Yeah, so I again, I don't want to be unfair, I don't want to be mean or anything, but it just kind of sounds like this wasn't really an actor in a booth like doing a performance. And I'd be curious to compare the English version and see if it's similar. But it just kind of sounds like I'm doing this, you know, like it feels like something that was just kind of put in quickly, unfortunately. But you know, sometimes that happens. I've had to do similar things before. It's okay. Fight the merchant. Okay, I'm absolutely going to fight this merchant. Oh, I have to do a one-on-one. I guess I'll go with Goose. Oh, interesting. I'll listen to the music for a second. So this is really weird. I don't know if this is true, but something about the way this music is produced feels to me like it's a little bit more modern, more like synthetic. Like the drums in particular are very tight, are very almost like pre-programmed. But it could just be like a byproduct of the way it's coming through my speakers, whatever. I wonder if that's a deliberate choice though, to try to make this character seem like a little bit more odd or removed from the world or something like that. But let's see. Yeah, let's just... Oh, I wonder if I check the lamp, if that does anything. Nothing at all. Okay. Whoa, hi, hello. Suddenly you got slightly more intimidating. Okay, applies powerful. I don't think I need to do that. Let's just focus on the basics. Let's see. Oh, that didn't do a whole lot of damage. Okay. The timing of the attack feels very like Godric-esque, or like Margit-esque from Elden Ring. Just like has so many anticipation frames. And he keeps taking me out with that. Okay. Oh yeah, that's such a weird choice. Like, listen to the background. It's so weird to me to be hearing like a modern-ish, like electric guitar with like modern effects processing on it in this environment with this kind of aesthetic. It's not a mistake necessarily. It's just it clashes with the other like the timbre of the rest of the soundtrack, in my opinion. And so I'm very curious to see if there's a specific reason for that, like if they're going to incorporate like more synthy elements, more modern electronic production. Also, I just noticed that the aim visual icon is behind the Gustav, like he's standing in front of it, which makes the those like icons, the tabs or whatever you want to call them for the various skills, feel even more grounded in the world. So yeah, they're doing a great job of like it's almost like he's casting them out into the world from his position, which is really cool. Sorry says Noko was named after an energy drink as a meme. Whoa, cool. Also, yes, gestrals like Noko are gestural mannequins. Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool. That's awesome. I really like that. Okay, let's just do... Or charger's not ready yet, so let's just do a basic attack. I'm guessing this fight might not be all that intense. 1, 2. Okay. I'm still... Oh, shit. Okay, hi. I'm still obviously struggling with, like, the parry timing, but... Right, overcharger's ready. Try this again. Like, it feels like I'm, I don't know if I'm just being stupid or something, but I am finding it very difficult to tell, like, when the anticipation frames end and when it's time to actually respond correctly. I wish it was just a little bit of an extra sound cue or something, because I feel like I'm having to rely pretty significantly on just like memorizing the visual cue, or like memorizing the length of the attack pattern as opposed to just responding to a cue, which for me is harder. So okay, cool. Can we fight him again? I don't know if there's any reason to do so, but yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm curious to see where this goes. I love the lamp over there on the right, and how it's kind of like, it's obviously like a 2D piece of art, but it looks like they might have taken concept art for it and then added like an additional lighting and particle effect coming off of it. That's really cool. Or it could just be, yeah, I won't keep speculating, but yeah. Exposing attack, level 3. Base attack applies defenseless. Ooh, that's good. Oh, that's definitely useful. It's sold out. Chroma Catalyst times 5. Upgrade weapons to level 3. Okay. Well, I already have 23 of these. So maybe I don't need any more. But the Lumina stuff is going to be useful, so... I'll buy one of these just to have them. Okay, 25 is a nice round number. Okay. Cool. Nice. So yeah, let me check my inventory here. I think Gustav is the person who's probably going to be doing the most like basic attack stuff, right? So augmented attack. Have I learned this yet? 50% increased base damage. And that is, I think it is learned, right? Because it's got highlighted. So yeah, so let me equip this. And that is not learned. Cleansing tint. Healing tints also remove all status effects from the target. Dead energy plus 3 AP on killing an enemy. Let me just put that there. Oh, it's equipped by Luna. Okay. Loon, I'm sorry. The English dub has got me doing it too. And then yeah, let's just try that for now. See how that works. Okay. Cool. I would love to be able to upgrade some of my weapons, but at the moment I'm still not sure how to do that. Okay, upgrade attributes. Let's see. Level 8. Oh, I have 9 points available. Wow. It does throw a whole lot of like options at you really quickly. To be honest, I'm still not 100% convinced like what stats I need to be leveling up or whatnot, but I think, you know, defense probably can't hurt. I like the idea of still like having characters with specific roles, so let's just put some more points into might. Although we're starting to get slightly diminishing returns. Yeah. We're only getting like a couple of extra bonus points there, so that's not a whole lot. But, oh, I see what's happening there. So for agility, so I think like having extra turns is honestly probably one of the best things for our character. And given that we're also getting defense and attack out of agility, I think it's probably one of those points we should invest pretty heavily in. Vitality as well. It affects our attack power and our health. So I feel like we're getting more benefit from those particular stats. Having an entirely like another extra attack is more important than like any one individual attack doing more damage or whatnot. Wow, she starts with 0 and everything. Lune, yeah, the Lune is what they used to cast the Tsukiyome. I mean, like, Lune is only one particular. And honestly, I think like Tsukiyome is so ridiculous that enough people will notice that it's a problem and not buy into it, but people don't know French as well, and so I feel like Lune is more destructive overall, because like this is the first time in a while like a prominently French game featuring French culture from a French developer comes forward and they choose to mispronounce their like one of their core characters' names in the dub. That to me I think sets a negative precedent more so than just like one doofus like mispronouncing something in the Discord community. But But it was kind of funny playing the English dub and having characters in English still say like putain, you know, like instead of just saying son of a bitch. That was great. I love that. Let's see. I don't really know what her deal is yet, so I'm gonna kind of do the same thing. She's getting points for yeah, crits are good, speed is good. Is she gonna wind up being like more of a traditional brawler? That'd be kind of funny. What if she winds up being like the strongest melee combatant on the team? That'd be awesome. Let's see. I think at this point we're starting to get diminishing returns on crit, but I like the idea of getting up to 30 just because it's a nice round number. Agility, yeah, put more points in agility because it's giving us defense and speed, and like, yeah, we're getting big numbers out of that. So, and I'll just put 2 in vitality, or no, I'll put 2 more in might for now. Defense, I'm not sure. I think agility and luck. I might wind up regretting some of those choices later, but feels right for now. Okay, so we have 3 skill points available. What does this do? 2% health. Okay, I don't really need that as much because I have other ways of recovering. But so I think I'll save up points for him for the time being. Oh wow, we got all kinds of stuff here. So let's see. Deals low single target damage and applies defenseless. Okay, I think that's probably going to be a core ability. Oh, it's already unlocked. Okay, spark deals low fire damage. Okay, let's see. Deals low single target physical damage, 1 hit. Switch to virtuose stance if target is burning. And what about I got 3 points available. Deals low single target fire damage, 1 hit. Target becomes weak to fire damage for 2 turns. This I think is going to synergize really nicely with other characters' abilities. So I think that makes a lot of sense to use. And I don't know about that. I think I'm going to wait. This seems like it could be useful, but I want to wait and experiment with her other stuff. Might want to put a point elsewhere. But she has 4 points available. Let's see what she's got. Low single target ice damage. 4 AP if the target is burning. Consumes play second turn. Yeah. I mean, like, that's so great, right? If you already are getting extra turns from agility and then you stack that on top of something like this. Medium target earth damage. Greatly increased damage can break. Okay, I think like having more attacks that can break is going to be useful because right now I think Gustav is the only one who can actually break an opponent. But this revives. Okay, that's useful. More interested in that, but that's later. Okay, yes. So the breaking ability definitely strikes me as being very useful. Medium fire damage to all enemies and consumes ice for increased damage versus low single target lightning damage, crits. Oh yeah, I wanted this one real bad, like the idea of like constantly spamming this attack if you get crits after crits after crits. That's super exciting. Okay, cool. I still don't know how to upgrade my weapons, but I'm guessing that will come later. Oh, this is from Expedition 59 too. I didn't even notice that at first. Wow, pretty far advanced to take that long to. Like, it took that many expeditions to get to this point. That's crazy. Okay. So, yeah, would you agree with that, Lune versus Tsukiyome? Sorry, it says Mael was my main. I never removed from the party. Also, there's a boss I'm super excited for you to see, so I can't wait for that. It's way down the road, but I know it's the coolest turn-based RPG boss. I'm super excited, man. Like, so far, all the bosses have had personality. Is that Dolphin? Oh my god. I think I might have mentioned this before, but I studied marine biology for a while. Of course, it was years ago, so I don't remember a lot of the stuff I learned. But cetaceans, namely like whales and dolphins, were a particular interest of mine because I wanted to study fish communication. Obviously, they're not fish, but you know, I wanted to study basically underwater animal communication, and then I started by learning about whales and dolphins, and then sort of moved over to fish.
À ton avis?
Donc tu n'es pas seulement resté dans ton manoir.
Nice. Yeah, I like that Mael.
Parfait.
Well, I'm genuinely really curious because to know if Mael has come here before, because it seems like she's been here long enough to have integrated. Also, the swarms of fish, very, very cool looking. I think there's actually, so this is just a guess, but actually, let me try this. Okay. It's hard to tell. I'm guessing that these fish are not like fully AI generated, moving around, that if you were to jump up to them that they wouldn't run away from you. I think the way that these are being implemented is that they're using a tool called a spline, and a spline in a game engine is basically just like a series of points that you can connect a line between, and then at each spline point you can click on it and then like click and drag to essentially determine how much curve and how steep the curve is between any of the 2 points. So it's a very easy way for you to like draw a pathway by just marking a couple, like the overall like points on the path, and then clicking and dragging until you've pulled the what do you call it? I'm distracted by the amazing music in the background. Pull the points of the line to follow the overall stretch and pattern and skew that you want. And then you can basically just say, okay, now that the spline is alive at interval X, however frequently you want in the game, pick a random point on the spline and then put a mesh or put an actor or put some other game object on that point, and then basically just have it like follow all the way along till the end of the spline. So what it looks like they're doing is that they are, yeah, and you can kind of see right there. You notice right there, it looks like the fish themselves are actually starting off very small, and then they're growing bigger. And they're creating like an optical illusion where it looks like the fish are swimming in from a hole in the rock. But what they're actually doing is they have like the 2D, I don't think it's 2D, they have like the thin texture, the thin model, or whatever you want to call it, of the fish. It starts off very, very small. They add it to a point in the spline. They give it like an offset, like they put a little higher, a little lower than another one. And then they just say, okay, move along the spline, and then they expand it to the proper size. They add a little variation, and that way you can take something that's like a very simple texture and create a lot of programmatic randomization and variation to it to make it seem as though there's like a whole cluster of different things, when actually it's really literally just one thing that's being sent along a path and then given variation, if that makes sense. So very, very clever. I really like the way that they're approaching it. It could be that they're doing something else under the hood, but if you work with an engine like Unreal, for example, I think Unity as well, you'll run into the spline tool, and it'll be very helpful for mocking up stuff like that and getting stuff like that online. So yeah, I wanted to study fish communication. I did. I actually went to this particular school, or like particular, cool design, particular class at one point where I was looks like there's water dripping. Oh yeah, cool. Shout outs to the sound designer who actually remembered to add like a sound for this water dropping. Something that's totally easy to miss, but it adds so much. But yeah, I wanted to study fish communication, and I wound up actually doing a little research on this particular fish called a wolf fish, I think it was called, or a sea raven. And basically the way that fish talks to other fish is that, one second. Ooh. Oh, dude, I love it. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's beautiful. The tail is such a bright, vibrant pink compared to
On
the
dirait qu'on a retrouvé le bateau de l'expédition 68.
other
Un
characters.
passage permet de le traverser. Cette encre ne semble pas avoir été fabriquée par des humains.
So basically, I'll finish my TED Talk on fish talking, and then I'll get back to the game. Basically, fish have this thing inside their body, an organ that we don't have, called the gas bladder. And what it is, it's basically just like a sac that can fill up with air. I think it's air, it could be some other substance. And as it fills up with it, the fish becomes lighter, and it lets them float or move upward in the water column. And if they expel gas from it, the fish gets less dense, and so they, or more dense per volume, something like that. Anyway, it makes them go down. If they have less stuff in the gas bladder, they go down. They have more stuff in the gas bladder, they go up. But this particular breed of fish, or like species of fish, has a ring of contractile tissue, so like a band of tissue, like muscle, around the gas bladder, and they can squeeze it. And when they squeeze it, they basically like fart from inside, and then that comes out their mouth, or just like resonates in their body and creates a sound that other fish can hear. And people down in Florida actually have a problem with a similar species of fish like this, because the fucking fish, when they're in mating season, they're trying to communicate with one another, will start doing that like low croaking sound like a frog, like expelling gas out of their gas bladder. And the frequency of the sound that the fish makes lines up with the the wavelength of the sound that they're making lines up with the wavelength of the canals in front of people's homes. And so it causes like this what's the term for it, like a resonant node, and it makes like the whole fucking canal system shake and vibrate really loudly. So you'll be in your house just chilling, and then it'll be like 2 a.m, and all of a sudden your entire house goes like and just like starts shaking because these fucking fish are croaking, and it's just like overlapping resonantly with your with the water in front of your house. Basically, it's crazy. Anyway, marine biology lecture is over. Back to the game. Or rather, let's get started with the game. My friend. Oops. I love that little like ding, the little pulse in the sound design. So very interesting character design here. We still have the one second, I want to listen to the music. So I don't know if this is a deliberate choice, but it sounds like they are using elements that sound a little bit like sonar in the like that ping, the deep deep in the background. And I wonder if that's an attempt to kind of give this like an otherworldly kind of ethereal oceanic feel. It does feel very eerie in a positive way. All the creatures have something that feels very kind of unnerving, but also very beautiful about them. Like, look at the moss or the lichen or whatever it is growing on their head. Oh, that was effective. Okay.
Une tempête approche.
Is it... My controller seems to be inverted for some reason. Weird. Not a big deal. However, this is a debuff that reduces the character's damage by 20%. Okay. There we go. I love that you get AP for parrying. Yeah, see, I feel like I blocked that. It felt, from a tactile standpoint, that I succeeded in blocking that stuff, so I'm not sure why I failed. Ooh, the lyrics. Okay. I'm not gonna remember what all the stances and everything do yet, but I think for now, let me just... Yeah, it's definitely backwards. Something wrong with my controller. I'll fix it later. I'm just gonna experiment. I'm not gonna worry too much about getting everything perfect. Okay, so now I'm in offensive mode, and that means that I'm doing more damage, but also I'm going to take more damage. So, yeah, let me see. What am I doing? Medium physical damage. I need to find a way of healing others. I think that Lune has some healing ability. Okay, so let's see. Doesn't she? Healing light. Yes, okay. So, heals a targeted, consumes 2 earth. But I don't have any earth already, so let's just... Healing light. Let's use that on my friend over here. Again, this is such a minor thing, I suppose, but I really gotta figure out that timing. I know what I'm doing wrong. 1 second. Okay, there is actually an audio cue. I just need to focus on listening for that more so. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm actually paying too much attention to the visual cue and not enough to the audio cue. I will say, I don't know why my voice just did that. I will say that I'm not sure why the game is being so so generous with weapons. Like, I feel like every time we get a new character, the first fight that we have with the character is one in which we get a new item, which is kind of cool. But I think, I don't know, that the other item that we get is almost always, like, stats-wise objectively better as far as I can tell. So I don't know. Well, hang on. Does... Yeah, and it also doesn't seem to have a an upgrade path. It's just like static. So unless there's something that comes along later that retroactively upgrades that item or makes it more interesting, it seems like they are very quickly like almost immediately invalidating our base item in favor of a completely new item. Why not give us some more time to spend with the original thing that we got? You know what I mean? Yeah, I absolutely love like how creepy and the background music is. I like that. I actually really like that they're not restricting themselves to just one palette or one time period or one set of instruments for this. Actually, can I? It's kind of like being able to get the battlefield clear as soon as possible. Okay, so let's see. Dead energy. Oh, I'm leveling that up. Okay. So, medium ice damage slows a target, but I don't really have anything to consume that. I want to try Thunderfall. Okay, I just found my new favorite thing. That's what I'm doing from now on. That's it. It was so cool. Yeah, I want to know what the inspiration was behind that creature as well, because it looks vaguely familiar, almost something that I saw in a dream or whatnot. Also very fascinated to know why there are all these, they appear to be like the helmets off of diving suits, but the fact that some of them are child-sized is concerning. Although I'm guessing, well, so far the Paintress hasn't had any direct adversity towards children as far as I know, right? Although I suppose that will happen eventually. Oh, is it the guy that we... Hang on a second. I wonder if the guy that we picked up in the gallery is going to help upgrade our weapons. Maybe there was something said about that last stream and I just forgot. Yeah, I'm really bad at parrying. I think I might wipe this. I gotta be careful. I do really like the battle system though, it's very satisfying when it works. I just don't understand why I am not, Ooh, that's really cool. Okay, so it's nice that, like, because she is the active caster, they always make sure to, like, put a little bit of extra, or, like, to put that black and gold painting element behind her. And they don't shy away from, like, covering the characters with blood and grime, which is great. It makes everything feel kind of gritty and realistic. Let's see if I can get it this time. I'm gonna listen. First one. Alright. She's stanceless, so let's see. I think if I attack, I immediately go right into my, one of my stances, right? Let's see. No, I want to go to the little guy first, please. There we go. Counters are actually very effective.
Une tempête approche.
Okay. Nice. Leveling up very quickly. I guess that means we'll have a lot of options very quickly, which is nice. I do feel kind of overwhelmed with all the different options that we have. Like the pacing of that is a little intense. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. But wait a second. How do I go to camp? Or is that something I can only do from the overworld screen? I bet it is. Yeah. Okay. Interesting that the elixirs are referred to as chroma elixirs, but chroma is also the currency, so I wonder... A little weird that the... I guess maybe it's supposed to be like souls in Dark Souls, where like it's a substance that can be used for a variety of different things. Hello, are you friendly? Yes, you might be. Hi. Demineur? What's this Nebron doing? Mineur says ... Let's see. I don't know. The metal chain doesn't usually carry a mine with it. What if we were to give it one? Okay. So I have to look out for a mine. I see. What was that noise? Oh, hi. I keep forgetting that this game actually like lets you fall off of stuff. This is terrifying. But beautiful. Like most of the game. Oh, okay. I'm climbing up there. The little grunting is kind of silly. Does this do anything? I guess not. Oh, there is a platforming. Oh no. Kind of whoa, hi. I'm kind of surprised that they choose to do like a platforming thing in this game. It was a little imprecise. Oh shit. Oh yeah. So full disclosure, like I am terrible at platforming games, challenges, elements, so I'll do my best. But I do think it's an interesting choice that like although you can kind of rotate your body around a bit, you don't really have much like air control. Like I'm slamming the stick around and I can kind of move myself in the air. It's pretty rigid. So it's leaning more towards realism.
Sympa.
Oh, that was easy. Okay. Oh, does demineur, does that mean like somebody who was like a minesweeper who removed mines or something like that? Whoa, awesome. Okay, I better not get stuck down there. Yeah, one of my personal fascinations / fears is like deep ocean water. I have always wanted to go scuba diving. I don't know if I'll ever actually be able to because I'm fucking terrified. If I can't like see what's beneath me in the water, I get like extremely terrified. But I really want to try to do it. So this level is so beautiful and so like melancholy in a haunting way. But if I can't see the bottom, I'm gonna freak out. Like Subnautica is genuinely one of the scariest games I've ever played. Oh, looks kind of sweet.
Il a parlé.
Ooh, nice. Merde, are we bothering it? This could be bad. No, I don't want to attack it. Just let him do its thing. That's cool. I don't know if I'm just imagining it, but it sounds like I'm hearing the word Gustave in the background lyrics every once in a while. Let's see. It was her. She got Lighterim, Deminerim. Oh, lightning skills cost 1 less AP. Yeah, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, cool. Wow, that's beautiful. I love the design of these things too. Each of them is cool and unique in their own right. They're not just like a different sword or whatever. Very cool. Saria says it doesn't seem threatening. Let's kill it. That one Dark Souls 3 boss lady who lets you walk away instead of fighting. Oh yeah, you're talking about crossbreed Priscilla in Dark Souls 1, I think, in the painted world of Ariamis. Yeah, you wander in there and she's like, this land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind. Meanwhile, said inhabitants have just tried to like burn you, poison you, asphyxiate you, stab you, murder you in like every way possible. That's a little disappointing that you can't jump down there. There's like a blocking volume. There's an invisible wall, aka a blocking volume, that's not letting me go there. It's a bit disappointing. Oh, here. Sorry. Yeah, like that is extremely terrifying to me. I don't know why. It just like awakens something primal in my brain. Like I can't see it. I don't know what's going to be down there. No. But I also really want to explore it too. Interesting that maybe this is just me, but the combination of the like light scattering onto those mines from a certain distance makes it kind of look like crystals. Like you know, if you've ever been to a gem shop or like a whatchamacallit, yeah, like a shop that sells gems or souvenirs, they have those crystals that are like purple to white gradient in color. Those protrusions on the end there in that particular color with this particular lighting kind of look just like that. So I wonder if that was a deliberate choice to try to take these objects that are, you know, weapons of war, like tools of destruction, but instead make them kind of look a bit more like natural beauty, if that makes sense. Either way, you know, sometimes it's very difficult to tell what the intention of the artist is, but regardless of whether you think you're interpreting it correctly, quote unquote, it's still the case that they are creating enough of a mood to, or like they're doing enough hard work and effective and good work with their design that we can ask these questions in the first place. This is cool too. Just looking around. You know, I wonder if they're going to eventually use the grappling hook or whatever it's called in combat. Because is it the same thing when I use the grappling hook? Am I using the same device that I'm using when I fire off a shot like this? Because if so, that'd be really cool. I'm just I'm curious about, you know, your characters have this ability, kind of like in Sekiro, to latch onto distant objects. And like Sekiro, what I find like really compelling about it is that it's kind of like a Zelda weapon, right? When you get a new weapon in a lot of Zelda games, it won't be just like I don't know, like the mirror shield doesn't just block attacks, right? You can also use it to redirect light and solve puzzles. Or the bow, right? It doesn't just like damage enemies. You can equip it with different arrows, and the arrows each have different effects. Like ice arrows create platforms and stuff like that. They can light torches and whatnot. It's sort of a trope in a positive sense in the Zelda games that a lot of the stuff that you find is multi-purpose and multivariate. So I would love to see if we get an ability later on where we can, I don't know, or even if it's just like an animation that's incorporated as part of a basic attack where you yoink an enemy down. 50% free, 50% increased free aim. 50% increased free aim. Why is that so hard to say? Jesus. Okay. So I'm still a little overwhelmed by the whole Pictos thing, but let's see. 20% chance augmented aim. Free aim damage. Does she have any Pictos? Okay, no, she doesn't. Okay. So, what else? We have augmented aim, marking shots. Okay. And cleansing, augmented attack. Okay. I think this one is already learned. Okay. It's a little overwhelming, but I need to spend some time learning the systems off stream, so I'm not just like staring at the screen, at the stats and everything. But, yeah. Cool. And jump down. Nice. Nice, elegant roll there. Is there some sort of extra platforming I can do over here, or? Oh, sorry. That's kind of funny. Like, kelp. I didn't do it. Never mind. The way that he just like I tried to jump, but I was unable to jump for whatever reason. It just seemed like he was startled by the existence of kelp itself. Okay, so I think that's where I just went. I need to go through the ship now. I keep hearing like a horrible demon noise out of one of my speakers. Curious where that will go. Oh, that's cool. That's not ominous at all. If I stand under this terrible idea, but still. Nice. Okay. Very nice quick transition from dark to light. The entrance to this cave is really well lit. This is smart level design too, like just giving a couple of guiding lights kind of through the dark passage. If that makes sense. Like as we're coming into here, we see just like we're in a relatively dark location, but we also see a glint of something in the distance, kind of intriguing. Yeah, this is all really cool. I love I think they're called caustics, but I might be making that up. The reflections of the surface of the water, so beautifully rendered. They're actively like creating light. Like it's actually pretty complicated to render that out, and they're doing a really good job. To be like 32, Gustav gets around.
Cette créature forge quelque chose. Elle serait donc douée d'intelligence.
I feel like picking a fight with this thing is a bad idea, but I need to see the design and see what it can do. Beautiful. It's so cool. Oh my god. Like the 3 apertures in the center. That's actually really scary. I don't know why, but like those like 3 pulsing mouths are really pretty terrifying. So I'm noticing, is this something I can hit? Yeah, okay. Burning. It still has a shield active though. Okay. So let's see. Let's do that. Gonna block. That's fine. So I have 4. Can I use Thunderfall? And I need 5 for that. Rock Slide. Let's try Ice Lance and see how well that does. Didn't really do anything incredible. Let's see about my end. So low fire damage applies defenseless on hit. Low fire damage 1 hit applies 3 burn. Okay. And dégagement. Low fire damage. Most of what she does is fire damage, I guess. Or it becomes weak to fire damage for 2 turns. Yeah, so let me try to set this up. I might be able to polish him off with fire next time. Oh, interesting. That's cool. Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. From fire. Medium physical damage, 3 hits, heals self if the target burns. Okay. Lightning. I think I'll just keep going with... Let's try this. Nice. And now my overcharge is built up, so I can use it on that next time. Cool. Applies defenseless, so I'm in offensive stance now. And applies 3 burn. And okay, so since I'm in offensive, if I use Spark now, it'll change my stance and apply 2 more burns. So let's try that. Nice. Okay, so we got 6 stacks of burn. Okay, this is clearly an incredibly deep combat system. It's gonna take me a while to master. That's cool. I'm very curious about those sort of like They almost look like, I don't know how to say, clown legs or something like that. Like it kind of reminds me of a carnival or something. Seems to be a very significant clash with the rest of the design of the creature. But wow, this is such an iconic and such a unique creature design. I love it. Anyway, let's see. Oh, so it's weak to lightning. Okay, excellent. Overcharge. Yeah, 4. Perfect. Okay. Damn, okay. So I'm just realizing now that in the Lumiere song, the vocalist says like something like Dolilom Seram, right? So I'm wondering if the RAM suffix, the ram, if that means something special, because it seems to keep coming up. Seram 99 with a more specific element, less scaling, and it doesn't seem to have. Oh my god, they're so cool! It's got like coral growing off of it. It looks like dragon wings, but an oceanic form or something. That's so cool. I like every time I equip a new weapon, I'm kind of expecting it to be like, oh, this will be a slightly bigger sword or a slightly smaller sword. But no, it's always like some crazy shit with a totally unique design to it. I guess it's probably a good thing that I'm not able to upgrade my weapons yet, because... Oh, so that creature over there was like forging anchors. And then the anchors are also sources of energy or heat or something? Or light fixtures? That's really cool. Look at this thing. Like a giant hammer? I wonder if that was used as part of the smithing. No, he was using his club, wasn't he? Huh. A lot of interesting storytelling going on here. I'm wondering like what is actually up with this. Okay, save point. Save points are pretty generous. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going with that. Well, I don't know. He's a bit weak at the moment. Yeah, I think a little bit of extra might is useful, because at this point he's not really hitting all that hard, unless with the. I mean, I say that after he just did 1,000 damage, but that was specifically with the lightning attack. 15, 19. Oh, critical goes up if I increase my defense. That's interesting. Okay, so let's bring this up a couple because it's very low. And then let's see, luck. Again, I think crit is going to be very useful. This is increasing both my speed and my crit rate. But she also got pretty damaged, so maybe I will put some points into vitality. Next time she was getting pretty low, actually very fast, so I'll keep that in mind going forward. I'm gonna keep going with agility, man. I'm loving this this particular build. Tyre says you're very good at the parry. Oh, thank you. Better than most, which is good. You will 100% need it. Okay. Obviously, it isn't mandatory like in Indivisible, but it makes a lot of boss fights exceptionally easier. Take it from someone who died a lot. Okay, that's really good to know. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I basically I really love a good parry system, and it's one of those things. I don't know if there's a specific term for this or whatever, but I'm very fond of like falling in love with something that I thought for sure I was going to hate. I used to think I was like incapable of parrying, and I used to hate parry systems, and then I played Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and it became one of my favorite games because of the way that the parrying system is implemented and the learning curve, or however you say, the way it's kind of taught to you. And since then I've like Sekiro is one of my top 5 games, and it has one of the best combat systems in a game, period, and it's entirely based around parry, right? So like the act of parrying something can feel more satisfying for me than pretty much any other mechanic in a game if done right. So I really want to be good at it. I want to learn how to be effective at using that mechanic. I want to go deep with it, so to speak. Same thing, I mentioned Thumper in the last stream, but like, yeah, Thumper's another one of those games where essentially what you're doing is you're just parrying notes that are coming in. Arguably, that's kind of what you're doing in Guitar Hero as well, but that's a larger topic, I guess. But one of the most satisfying experiences in any game is just like getting a perfect run of notes in Thumper and then like hitting that final note to kind of bring it all home when the music kind of drops out and there's that big bass pulse and the whole stage like shakes. It's fucking incredible. And parrying something in this game feels pretty close. Parrying something in Sekiro also, like during a boss fight, feels pretty close too. So let's see. Very high single target damage, 6 hits. Well, that uses weapons element. Critical hits generate more charges. Okay, that's good. So, do I want to go... Oh, I already have this. So, recovers 50% health and dispels status effects, or deals high lightning damage to all enemies. One hit can break if target is broken by the hit. Overcharges fully. Oh, damn, okay. Okay. So I'm guessing that this game is going to make us like super overpowered and then have the enemies also be super overpowered so that we're all just going crazy all the time. Let's see. I think I wanted to use medium fire damage. Burn. I think I'm going to save the points for now. Oh, well. Yeah. Switches to virtual stat. I think I need more stance switching, so I think I'll pick this up. And then applies shell, reducing damage taken to up to 3 allies. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. And then I think with her, I think I was saving up still, maybe? Medium fire damage to all enemies, 1 hit. Applies 3 burn. Low single target ice damage. So there's a lot to take in here. I think I'll save up. Oh wait, did I already get the breaking one? Yeah, I think I'll save up for this. This looks pretty cool. Okay, cool. Well, I can fast travel. Oh, only within this area though. Rest up. Nice, okay. What was that? Bizarre sound that was just playing. Oh, cool.
Parfait.
50% increased break damage on base attack. Nice. Well, let's take a look. So, Mile is using marking shots, augmented aim. Ah, okay. So augmented attack is already fully learned. So let me go and put staggering attack on instead. Okay. On augmented attack. There we go. Make sure that I'm learning them all. Okay, and did another character get something else? No, Gustav got the ruler round. Okay. Okay, starting to figure things out. Yeah, it's that. Huh, interesting. There's like a creepy crawly type sound coming from over here. I'm not sure what that's all about, but that's kind of cool. So beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. Why are you upset? What happened? Rather ominous.
On peut s'en servir.
I wonder if that's a coincidence. That oh, holy shit. That actually scared me. I was just about to say something like, oh, this is so serene, like I could just stop playing for a little bit and just totally zone out to like the sounds in the background because of how beautiful, calm and serene everything is. Yeah, really really could just relax and vibe to this, and then that happens. I mean, I still can, it still applies, of course, but yeah. I think I'm gonna save up for thunder-based attack. Oh wait, this is a thunder-based attack. So that was very inefficient what I did there. I'm kind of messing around. Let's see. So low fire damage applies defenseless and switches to offensive. Okay, I need to organize this at some point. Now, low fire damage. Okay, let's try a second. Low fire damage. Weak to fire damage. Low physical damage. Switch to virtuous stance if target is burning, but we're not burning. Okay, so let's try guard up. Nice, and now I'm in offensive. That's really cool. So, 1 second. Okay, I don't understand why I didn't succeed there. I also don't understand why I took damage when I was shielded. But okay. Okay. Oh, sorry, it says I wasn't kidding about indivisible. By the way, if you aren't capable of doing perfect parries, you literally cannot beat the final boss because it's only parries. You cannot attack. Oh, that's, oh, first of all, I'm noticing that the chat is a little cursed. 1 second. I should put that up there. Because that's kind of getting in, lost in the, oh, the music is so distracting. It's so good. Sorry, it says, I wasn't kidding about indivisible, by the way. If you aren't capable of doing perfect parries, you literally cannot beat the final boss. Because it's only parries, you cannot attack. Well, on the one hand, I will say, thank you for the heads up there. I will say, I would consider that a spoiler. It's not a big deal or anything. But I think I would ask for, please not mentioning specific details like that, because I want to experience stuff like that fully blind, so to speak. But yeah, that's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad that I'm that I'm preparing in advance, though. So that's cool. But yeah, it doesn't make sense to me to not engage with that mechanic. Right? So now I'm in offensive stance. What do I have in offensive stance that I can do? I thought that I made this guy where it becomes weak to fire damage. Okay. So if I do this, it'll become weak to fire damage, and then I can stance switch into a fire damage based attack next time. I can also do Thunderfall. Nice, okay. Am I just not holding down the button long enough? Okay. Attack that does this damage. Okay, I'm almost done with my overcharge. I think I might actually be able to... Wait, hang on. Is this guy burning? No. Uses weapons element heals if the target is burning. Okay, so let's see. What if I do this and use marking shot on him? Okay, and now if I do skills, low fire damage, applies defenseless. I guess I don't really need to do that. Low fire damage, one hit, target becomes weak to fire. Huh, I guess I didn't pull that off correctly last time. Oh well. Oh, it's just not showing the fire damage weakness visually? That's interesting. What did I do wrong there? I feel like I messed that up. Nice, okay. Oh no, that's okay, sorry, that's not a big deal. Yeah, I'm just trying to err on the side of knowing literally nothing. But it's, yeah, like I said, it's good to know that practicing parrying is going to be useful later on, so I appreciate that. Oh, why am I so damn tired? Sorry.
Sympa.
I feel like I keep hearing the sounds of little creatures scuttling around in the distance, in the background. I'm sure that won't be a problem. You almost got me. You almost got me. Oh, the camera kind of went into the geometry there. Yeah. So, on the one hand, I will say that there's not a ton of variety in the enemies thus far. However, it is also true that there is a ton of variety in the things that we are capable of doing, so it feels like there's a lot to take in, if that makes sense. So we can have the same battle happen like 10 times in a row with the same enemies and have it play out very differently each time. Okay, there we go. Jesus. Very, very tricky. Let's see. I'm at 2. Yeah, let's just go. Nice. So... Okay, so I'm in offensive stance now. I would get more burns if I did Spark, because I'm in offensive. But I could just attack at face and it's going to deal more damage. Oh, and if I use that other Pictos, then that would let me increase my damage by 50. So it's doubling my damage if I use that Pictos and go into offensive stance. That's kind of crazy. So actually, I feel like dumping a lot of defense and like increasing Mael's health and also increasing her base damage is probably going to be a good bet for her, because that way I'll have high survivability and I can just safely go into offensive stance and then like stack damage for massive single attacks. I just do like a shitload of damage per. Cool. Very cool. Indivisible is just one of those games I loved up until that point, so when I talk about it I kind of get frustrated. Oh, I'm sorry. So I think I just completely misunderstood you, and maybe I was upset for the wrong reason. I thought you were saying that Indivisible was either like a boss or a skill in this particular game, and as a result I was going to need to get ready to use Indivisible, because when I got to the final boss of Clair Obscur, then I was going to have to perfect parry the boss over and over and over again of Clair Obscur. You're saying that there's another game called Indivisible, and in Indivisible you have to use perfect parrying. Is that what you're saying? Sorry if I misunderstood. So... defense. I'm not getting hit that much with him. I think, yeah, just more damage for him. Yep, that's right. I like that we have the recoats as well. I wonder if there's like a lore-based explanation for how those work. But yeah, so what gives her the most raw damage? 33, 34, 36 versus if I put... This is so confusing. Okay, if I put points here, it doesn't directly increase my damage for a while. It does eventually. But what about luck? Okay, it does for a while. Yeah, so I'm going to... Critical rate increases, but slowly. I'm going to try dumping some stats into might and see what that does. Although, 33, 34 versus... Yeah, it doesn't really do much there. Yeah, let's just see how that plays out. And then you're getting more agility. Yep, that's all you need. She is really cool looking. Love her character design. Okay, so no, we're still saving up for her. Still saving up for her. Still saving up for everybody. Okay. Alright, let's go. Sorry, says, oh no. I never do that to you. Yes, Indivisible is a game where the game basically blocks you from winning if you can't perfect parry in every fail against the final bosses, the instant loss. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I was not aware of that. I misunderstood. Thank you. Yeah, honestly, I was a little surprised because I know you've been very patient waiting for me to discover things in this game. So I was like, okay, that's a little weird, but yeah, this makes much more sense. Sorry for the misunderstanding there, and thank you for helping me clarify. Whoa, hi, Jesus. You managed to jump scare me twice in a row. Ooh, it's beautiful. But this game is really, I'm gonna say it again and again, I'm sure, but I'm sure nothing bad will happen down there. What's this? Oh, an entry. Nice.
Expédition 68. Elodie. C'est un miracle qu'il y ait eu des survivants. Pris dans le maelstrom, nous avons été projetés de vague en vague. Les étoiles et la lune ont disparu, nous condamnant aux ténèbres éternelles sous une pluie battante et un ciel en furie. La peintresse a envoyé une tempête pour nous tuer, mais c'est nous qui l'avons vaincue. Après avoir survécu à une telle épreuve, terrasser ses névrons était presque un jeu d'enfant. Force et résilience, voilà ce qui nous a permis de survivre à cette tourmente et de remporter la victoire. Ce n'était même pas un combat, mais un véritable bain d'encre. Nous les avons tués jusqu'au dernier, mais celui-là a l'air plus fort que les autres.
Nice. I love the delivery of that. That was really cool. An ink bath is cool. You know, so I was just about to say, I think I'll go explore that side path first because it seems like some shit is about to go down here. I was just about to say, this game is so beautiful and serene and almost like relaxing in a way. I feel like when we first arrived on the island, we were set up for some genuine horror, and especially like that first, like, I'll just say the implied self-harm scene, right, where we see all of the blood and gore, and the massacre on the beach. Like, things were really dark and really dire at first, and since then it's been actually quite lovely. I mean, yes, we're fighting for our lives and all that, there's blood all over the place, but it hasn't been that gory, like that grim. And I was like, yeah, I wonder if that was just sort of a one-off thing, and maybe things are going to be a little calmer now. Like, nope. We're getting right back into it. Oh, interesting. Okay, so there's another one of those paint cages. I will say I don't like these God of War style. Like, I really like the modern God of War games. I never really got into the whole, like, searching for Odin's ravens things. I really don't like just, like, pixel hunting around the environment, so I'll give this a shot because I want to see what the item is and I want to participate in the game's mechanics. But if it takes me more than a minute or so, I'm probably going to move on with the plot because I get pretty irritated with this stuff pretty quickly. It's one of those things where, so I'll be curious what other people think about this. I might be being unfair, but I remember playing Outer Wilds, one of my favorite games of all time, with my partner, and getting really frustrated and almost quitting at one point. And he's like, why, what's wrong with it? I thought you loved this game. I'm like, I do, but it's full of what I would call or consider to be dumb video game bullshit. And what I meant by that was, I forget what was even happening in the game, but it was some sort of thing where it felt to me like, you know, this game is already doing so much so well, so consistently, that it doesn't need to quote-unquote be a video game. Like, there are certain things that we expect from video games. Like, on the most basic level, like, you can run out of lives and you can save your game and reload it, and, you know, you have to kill things and get damaged, and you have to solve puzzles, whatever you might consider some of the fundamental tropes of video game design that have just, like, existed since the days of Tetris to Super Mario and whatever, right? And sometimes I feel like there are games that they almost, like, lose confidence in themselves. They have a really great thing going, but then are like, maybe it's not the developers specifically, it could just be like the publishers, but somebody at some point for some reason decides, you know what, this isn't enough of a video game. Video games have to have combat, or they have to have, you know, puzzles, or they have to have whatever else, and so they put stuff in there for the sake of there being stuff, and then it's just like, what is this really helping? Is this really contributing much? And a perfect example of that I played recently actually was in Mass Effect 2, where they... Okay, I might have bit off more than I could chew here. Mass Effect 2 has this mechanic, you might recall, of like, you have to constantly scan these little planets, in order to get resources, and there's a whole like scanning minigame in and of itself. That could take up maybe 10 full hours of your playthrough if you're thorough, of just scanning these fucking planets over and over again. And then when you hack into a computer terminal, you have to match up these little floating pieces of code. And then when you hack into a door, you have to match up these little nodes of electricity or whatever. And it was like the games industry at that time had a weird fetish of like everything has to have a fucking minigame. It was just like, you know, you can't just do what you did in Dark Souls in the Mass Effect 1, which is play like a little Simon matching video game, or use Omnigel to bypass the door. Or you can't just have a character like in Dungeons and Dragons that just has a stat that lets them lockpick things or use an item. You have to play a mini game. You have to stop playing the game that you're playing and play a different game inside the game, and those things are like everywhere, right? And it was to the point where if you didn't include one in your game, it kind of felt like, well, you weren't living up to par, you weren't living up to the status quo or standard or whatever. Everybody has to have a minigame. So when God of War started doing that with Odin's Ravens and stuff, I was like, this is completely unnecessary. Somebody just decided on a production level that we need more things for our players to do, to spend more time in the game, put some fucking things in there that they have to scan around the environment. But that's just me, that's my bias. Some people, maybe that's their favorite part of the game, and you can argue that it does incentivize exploration and careful consideration of the environment, right? So it's not inherently bad or anything, but I hope that's not, I don't think it will become this, but I hope that that's not what we see happening to like the mini games, or like the what is I saying? The search for the painting paint globs, whatever they were that we just shot in this game. I hope it doesn't go that way. I don't think it will again, but yeah, just hope it doesn't. Sorry says, I recently finished the Mass Effect trilogy. I really love the novels. They're so good, but so weird and a bit contradictory at times. Oh, so you read the novels before the series? What was that like? What was it like going from the novels to the games? I'm very curious about that. Let's see. I think I'm going to try low fire damage, spark. Oh, to go into offensive. Maybe I want to go into defensive first, actually, because I feel like we're going to get pummeled. So let's try this. Okay, let's see. Damn, okay. That was intense. Doesn't couler mean like to fall apart or something? Okay, that's very unfortunate. I would also be curious, Saria, what you thought of the ending of Mass Effect 3, because one second. Because I know a lot of people at the time were very irritated with it. I didn't personally find it that big of a deal. I thought like people were kind of expecting some sort of a happy ending, and I thought that was pretty naive considering everything that happened in the series up to date. So I'm curious if the burn charges will proc through. Let's try this. Ah, interesting. Okay. So let's try that then. This guy. Nice. Okay. Sorry says I was very confused on certain things, like certain parts of the lore just seemed different, but apparently it's an Avatar situation where some books are just written by people who don't know the lore. Ah, okay, yeah. I run into that a little bit with the Halo series and Warhammer and stuff. I think they give the license to people and they kind of let people run wild with it, which can be fun sometimes, but also can lead to misunderstandings. It's unfortunate, you know, you would figure that they would have someone who goes and fact checks and verifies everything, but I guess that's a pretty difficult thing to hope for. Okay, let me see. So dégagement, low fire damage, target becomes weak to fire damage. Yeah, let's try that. Cool. Damn, okay, yeah. It was awesome. Okay, almost. What the hell?
Il faut parer.
Okay. Oh, when you're stunned, you can't jump. Is that why I didn't? I'm confused about what happened there, but that's okay. So I have a fire and I have a earth. So let's see. Okay, I guess I'll just like attack straight up. So that guy's dead at this way. Let's see. So he's already burning. And I'm in offensive mode. So if is there anything that okay, so I'm in offensive mode. This will apply 3 burn and apply 2 more burn and then switch to defensive stance. If I go with spark. So let's try that.
Obéissez-moi. À couvert.
Nice. There we go. Nice. It is so satisfying when you finally pull it off. The shields are getting really fucking annoying. But it's okay. It's fine. Nice. Okay, and now what a great way to... Oh, wait a minute. It's only 1 hit, so if I try to attack him with an overcharge right now, it's probably not going to work. Right? Overcharge requires... Oh, wait. Okay, so hang on. What if I do this? 1, 2, and now overcharge, right? No, overcharge. There we go. Okay, nice. Very, very satisfying. And my L is catching up very fast, too. So let's see. Sorry says, I thought the ending of 3 was fine, though now I'm a little concerned because now I'm like, what? So does my ending not count? Oh, Mass Effect 4. You mean Andromeda? Yeah, I haven't played that. Maybe I was spoiled by it, but I saw videos from people like Kroby Cat and Donkey, Video Game Donkey, and I was just kind of disappointed with the overall direction.
C'est un avantage.
So I'm honestly not sure. Do you think it's worth playing, Saria? Do you think it's you know, I would describe myself as a fan of the original series, although not like die hard. I really enjoyed it when I played it, but I'm not as much of a fan as I am of Dark Souls 2. Like I could tell you that the Asari are biotics and the Quarians the migrant fleet, and Garrus, you know, like I remember some stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not like violently attached to anything. Honestly, one of my favorite gaming moments, which I actually like semi-spoiled for myself recently because I did the quest correctly. So in one of the planets in Mass Effect 1, if you kind of go exploring out of the way, it's a planet that's kind of like Earth, and you can find this weird little silver floating metallic liquid sphere. And when I played it through the first time, I didn't have the quest item for it. So you just kind of find it in this totally isolated, serene place. And I think you get like a text thing that pops up and it's like, you lack the ability to comprehend what this is or something like that. And for some reason, especially for me at that time, finding that object so mysteriously, so what I thought was pretty well hidden and so like eerie,
J'aime pas ça.
was one of the more haunting moments of that game. And then also there's this piece of music that plays where when you're exploring like hidden bases on the moon or like bandit camps or stuff like that, that's literally just like a couple of very quiet, high-pitched like synth tones, and exploring an abandoned base that's just like full of mechs or is otherwise completely empty, and hearing those incredibly lonely, piercing musical tones was just one of the eeriest, creepiest, but also most compelling like video game experiences I had of that time. That Mass Effect is so good at evoking like these moments of like quiet, lonely terror from time to time. I really, really enjoyed that. Of course, with the glowing sphere thing, I recently replayed Mass Effect 1, and it, like, I found the quest item for it, and it was like, oh, okay, that's what this does. So, Sorry says, no, not Andromeda, like, literal Mass Effect 4. Like, oh, I wasn't even aware of that. Mass Effect 4 got announced. I played the demo of Andromeda and quit like 30-40 minutes in because it was just not for you. Was it, like, the dialogue and the characters? That's what a lot of people seemed upset about. Or was there, like, what was it that kind of turned you off? I'd be curious to know. Hello, normal friend.
Celui-là est gigantesque.
Il faut les éviter à tout prix.
You wanna hang out? Pretty cool. I'm guessing I probably shouldn't jump off there. I have to try. I doesn't want to be friends. His loss. Okay, let's go continue. What a fucking awesome design, though. The animations, the sort of ichor or whatever that is that's leaking his mouth. Yeah, the pulsing of that mouthpiece there. Oh god, the fucking designers are going crazy with this game. I do kind of like that we can see the surface of the water, but also kind of wonder why it's not deeper, if that makes sense. Like, I wonder why they chose to make it so that we can actually see the surface as opposed to you know, having it feel like you're at the bottom of the ocean, like deeper. Maybe because of the lighting, it would have to be much darker. Sorry says the dialogue and the gameplay just felt weird, to be honest. No offense to the devs, because all art, even the least artistic, most corporate kind of art, has talented artists and crafts behind it. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, look, I've worked on games before where I know from first-hand experience and directly talking to people and working with people on the team, everybody there wants the game to succeed. And most of the people, I mean, like, sometimes we're a little lazy, sometimes we don't give our all, you know, we're human beings after all. But for the most part, people there are working, very, very hard to try to make the game as good as possible and genuinely want it to be awesome. And genuinely care about the franchise and the you know, the how do you say, the lore and the legacy, oh my god, of the thing that they're working on. My friend, I would like to save, please. Thank you. And so, you know, they all want to genuinely, like, do their best to ensure that the game that they're making is as effective as possible. But sometimes you just don't succeed. Sometimes you don't have enough time. Sometimes you don't have enough resources. Sometimes you have to work really, really hard to create a vision for someone, and you just totally disagree with their vision and direction overall and think that they're driving the game into the ground, but you don't have a choice. Like, basically, when you're in that situation, you know, you do have a choice, and the choice is, okay, because this game is being run by an idiot or someone that I don't appreciate their artistic direction, or somebody who I think is just like doesn't care about the game, whatever you might think about that person, about the management team, or whatever beef you might have with them, you can make the choice to be like, because I think that they are failing the game, I am just not going to care. I'm not going to give myself fully to this project. I'm just going to do what I need, collect my paycheck, and then go home. And there is something to be said for that approach, because sometimes it's like you have to safeguard your own sanity, and if the job expects you to like be crunching 100 hours a week or some shit like that, then it's like, no, maybe I'll do that if I really believe in this, if it's really special, unique thing that I want to do that for, but otherwise I'm not going to be like forced into that kind of situation. You know, I'm going to set boundaries. That's very important. but I would be less, I guess, impressed by, or I guess I would say that like you can decide, that is one particular case of like setting healthy boundaries for yourself so that you're not exploited. On the other hand, there is kind of the choice that you can make of like, I'm just going to do the bare minimum because why should I care about this anyway, because it's clearly not what I want it to be. You can make that choice. You can also say, okay, this game is going to suck, like, because it doesn't have the right direction, it doesn't have the right budget, it doesn't have the right whatever attitude, whatever. But when it comes out, I can make sure that when the sounds that play when the guns fire, that those function perfectly, or as close to that as possible. I can make sure that the lighting in this level, that it's as crisp as it can be. I can make sure that the game controls well and it's smooth. And that way, at the end of the day, somebody is going to go out there and they're going to play your game. And statistically speaking, even the shittiest, weirdest, grossest, like, laziest, whatever you want to call it, game out there is going to be someone's favorite, because like people have a variety of different tastes and tolerances for jankiness. Somebody out there is going to love the thing that you're putting out there. So you can choose to work hard for them, to make the game for them, to just decide, yeah, I don't like the boss, I don't like the director, I don't like the company, whatever. So stop making the game for them. Stop trying to impress them or please them. Stop trying to like focus on earning a promotion or whatever else. And the company doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters anymore. The only thing that matters is the player. When they put their money down and they pick up the game and they come home, did you do something to try to make their experience a little bit better? And I guarantee you that like 99% of all the people on a game development team, that's how they're thinking. Some of them might have given up, some of them might just not be that interested in it, some of them might have different perspectives. I'm not speaking for everybody, but the vast majority of people, even on like the most janky ass, like lazy, like, oh, this publisher is ruining video games, whatever you want to say about insert company here, that the people who are actually working on it, they still want you to get something good out of it. They still want to like do their part to make sure that somebody has fun with it. There's only so much we can do, you know. But yeah, I appreciate you, Saria, giving the benefit of the doubt and like calling attention to that. I will also say, while I'm on my podium here, hey, general public, stop blaming QA for every problem in a game. Sometimes people like have this idea that if there are bugs in the game, then it means that when it ships, that QA didn't do their job. And from somebody who's worked years in QA, like, no, that's not how that shit works. We know that the bugs are there. We see them. We file the reports. We do the sanity checks and the smoke tests every day to make sure that the bugs are still to see if they've been fixed. We follow up with developers and publishers and producers to make sure that like the bugs get fixed, or that the notice of the bug gets surfaced, and then it's out of our hands. We're not allowed to fix them. We're QA testers. We're not developers, right? We're developers, but we're not like in the build. We don't always. When I was in QA, like, I didn't really have any authority to check anything into the build. I couldn't fix anything. I couldn't adjust anything. We were just like watchers, you know. Observers. So please stop dunking on QA like they don't care because there are bugs in the game. Well, I keep sort of being hesitant in case any of these guys wants to be friends, but that might be a mistake. Okay. Oh my god, the music. So not only are they adding synth elements, but they're actually doing like some weird kind of smearing and staticky, like short delay style effect. Oh god, that's so harsh. It feels so alien to this world. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to experiment and see what this guy's weak to. God, it's so beautiful and disgusting at the same time. I forget what slow does. I guess ice isn't all that effective, but lightning is more effective. Okay, so guard up, low physical damage, one hit, switches to virtual stance if target is burning, and regains AP. Okay, so let me see if I can get this guy on fire. Spark, low fire damage, one hit, applies 3 burn, and goes into defensive stance. I love that. What the fuck? No, you don't. Hey, what the fuck? I'm gonna get him back, right? That's true. There's a literal clock simulator community. Oh god. Is it just like looking at a clock? I mean, Cookie Clicker has like speedrunners, so so what I was gonna do: low physical damage, 1 hit, switches to virtuous stance if the target is burning.
Je suis prête. Ok.
Okay, I swear I'm trying to parry. Exhausted is a status effect that prevents the character from getting AP from any source. Okay. I tried to parry every one of those, it didn't seem to work. I suppose I'll have to heal, but I have 0 AP. Okay, wonderful.
Je suis prête.
200% damage dealt. Interesting. Okay. So, Virtual Stance costs 2 AP. Low physical damage. But it already costs 2 AP. Okay. So, switches to Virtual Stance if target is burning. Applies shell, low fire damage. Okay. I guess I'll try this. Not bad. I would like my Gustav back, please. Saria says, you jump over the clock hand every 1 second and you lose if it hits your pig. Okay. I'm a little scared. But now I'm gonna have to check this out. Okay, let's see. Okay. Minus 50%. Okay, 1 AP on successful parry or dodge.
Ok.
The burn damage is doing something. 4 hit combo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, okay. I still want my Gus back. Low fire damage, consumes more, blah 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 blah. Anyway, I don't have enough AP. I think I'm gonna just keep stacking burn and see how far that gets me. Critical burn, nice. Yeah. So I'm in offensive stance. Applies 2 more burn if I go into spark. I think that makes the most sense right now. That will take me into defensive stance. Damn, okay.
Faites attention. Lune, dégage.
So, I'm doing a lot of damage, but I'm concerned. Wait, I bet if I break him, he will. Yeah, so I need to use Rock Slide, but I don't have enough AP. Okay. So I'm not sure. Revive Tint is a target. I only have 2 healing tints. Oh, are those... Okay, hang on a second. Okay. I think I know what I'll do. So... She's still exhausted or no? Okay. Skills. I'm in defense. Defensive stance. And currently I have nothing that really benefits me from coming out of defensive stance, as far as I can tell. So I think I will just... Wait, how did I get into virtuous stance in the first place? Virtuous stance comes from... If target is burning. Okay, so let's do it. Swift stride. So now I'll have a lot of damage next time. Crushing combo. Okay. Wow, okay. Well, 1 in 6 isn't that bad, I suppose. Let's see. I wanted to break with Thunderfall. I guess I'll do this. I will use another healing tint and save up my AP and try to break him next turn. So skills and then spark. Virtual stance costs 2 AP. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's gonna do more damage, so. Okay, so I might be able to right now. Yeah, okay, let's try this. Medium lightning damage. No, where's the break one? Okay, rock slide. 2 hits can break, consumes. Okay, great. Increased damage. Okay, let's try this. Nice. Yes, okay, good. Finally. So clearly I need more things that can break enemies. Okay, yeah, let's switch to Testament, and then we can finish off next turn, I think. Skills, let's just attack normally. Should have been using more electrical attacks. You know, let's do this. Offensive. So we should be able to do this. Get my timing down better there. There we go, nice, okay. Wow, that was intense, man. Saria says, Mael, what happened to Gustav? They ate him. What? They ate your brother? But we stopped the patrons. Seems like a fair trade. Virgin skin. Ugh. It's intense. That took 7 minutes to go through. Oh. Augmented counter. I think I'm going to put that on Mael. So it's augmented aim. I'm not even using that, so let's see. Augmented counter 1. Here we go. Yeah. And I'm not really using her base attack all that much either, so rewarding mark, right, seems okay, even though I'm not really learning it. Or not really, I totally lost my train of thought. I'm not really planning on, yeah, I have no idea what the fuck I was talking about. I'm sorry, I just totally spaced out there. Let's see. So, I guess this is cool. That looks fucking amazing, aesthetically. But I don't know why I would ever choose a Biseram over Krularam. Unless enemies are just going to be like strong against ice. I guess I'll try it out. Sorry, says also I hope it's okay. I've been spending so much time in your server. It's just a lot nicer. Oh, dude, of course. I'm happy to have you. I'm glad that you're finding that it's comfortable and fun to be there. I know I don't really have a lot going on a lot of the time. But I created it so that it would be a space where people could either just share random thoughts, have little mini debates, or just, you know, discuss whatever, really. So please feel free to use it however you like and spend as much time as you like, genuinely. I might sometimes be slow to respond. You know, I've kind of mentioned this before, but just to kind of recap that I need to be careful about my Discord use because I can very quickly and very easily fall into like staying on there all day and just talking to people all the time, which is why I didn't put it on my phone, especially if it's like a competitive thing, right, where I was supposed to, well, people might be having arguments or debates or whatever. I will never put the damn thing down and I will never get off of it. So I had to decide with myself.
Ce bâtiment a une certaine beauté mélancolique. Un avant-poste isolé de l'humanité, niché au milieu des coraux. Un marin perdu en mer.
Notre plus grande cynique devient poète.
Je ne m'attendais pas à ce qu'un ingénieur cartésien soit capable de voir la beauté de toute façon.
Cartésien. Curious about that. I feel like I should know what that's in reference to. Like Cartesian philosophy or something? I'm not sure. But yeah. I think I would just like totally fall into this habit of like being on there always and never getting anything done, and it would be like not healthy for me. So I only have it on this computer that I'm on right now. I don't have it on my work computer or on my phone. and so I will not always be in there responding very quickly. So apologies for if I'm ever slow to respond, but like, yeah, please feel free to use the server in any kind of way that you'd like for sharing thoughts or whatnot. I will say I'm also extremely intrigued to know this area here was referred to on the menu as Lumieran Streets. So, and it doesn't look like this is some sort of an abstract artistic representation of Lumiere as far as I can tell. It looks like this is literally the buildings and the architecture of the city that have been brought in or ported into this realm. So I'm really fascinated to know what the explanation for that is. So, Thunderfall consumes fire for increased damage. So, that's kind of what I want to build up to. So, let's get my immolation charges up there. Nice, okay. And then, so if she uses her spark skill, hang on, isn't there something that like target becomes weak to fire damage for 2 turns and goes into... Yeah, hang on. So if I do this, right, then I'm in offensive. The character on the left is weak to fire damage. Character on the left is weak to fire damage, and now that I'm in offensive stance, I can switch to that fire-based attack and it should do even more. But I'm still gonna do this because fuck it. I mean, come on. That's fucking amazing. And now Mael can get the... Oh, she was stunned. Well, now, foot punch finish. Oh, you're up to 1k XP. Awesome. The grind is finally paying off. Is that the highest amount of experience that is possible to get, or is there a higher tier? I'm just curious. But yeah, congratulations. I respect the grind. I respect the hustle, of course. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I had a suspicion before that maybe the individuals who were being absorbed and or that were being killed were then having their blood being used as like a pigment as part of the art and creation of this space, and it looks like the coral is being formed out of their blood, which is kind of cool. Oh, hi. Wait, no, I don't want to go there yet. So ominous and creepy. I love it. It kind of reminds me of Nier Automata. In the intro cutscene, I forget exactly what the that's cool, little footsteps in the muck there. I forget exactly what the dialogue is, but 2B says something. I think it's 2B. There's something along the lines of like, you know, we have this this world is full of all these contradictions and enigmas and terrors and stuff like that. Sometimes I wonder about the nature of a god who would create a world like this and wonder if we'll ever have the chance to kill him. And that's how the game starts. And I'm like, ooh, that's cold. And I think I'm getting a similar vibe here. There's like this air of reverence and appreciation and love almost for the things that are created in their beauty, but also like an underlying current of we have to stop this. Like we need to meet our god head on and unmake our maker. Let me see if we can... Oh, you can actually... Oh, that's a little disappointing. So, le grand café de lumière ouvre ses portes. That means like the great cafe of Lumiere opens its doors, right? La soirée d'inauguration, like the inauguration night. So interesting. So we've got they put in the detail of giving the publication a specific number. So this publication, if you look in the upper left, came out on the 8th of March, and it's the 126th edition of the Lumieran magazine. But it's unfortunate, I don't know why, due to budget concerns or whatnot, the text that is written there is actually that default lorem ipsum text, which is strange because if you look on the right, you can actually see... Shit, come on. Loon, stop. Okay. In the middle on the right, you can see œuvre dans l'ombre de notre grand barrière. Un dragard. So I can't quite read it because it's kind of blurry. You can see that they did actually write a whole thing. Is there something else? Yeah, okay, so it's basically like the same blurb in a bunch of different places, but you can kind of read it. Les poubelles ensevellissant la vie. Comment allons-nous nettoyer nos rues? Oh, it's saying that, like, there's a bunch of stuff that is enveloping or, like, totally covering up the road and, or the village, and how are we going to clean up the roads? Okay, so that's cool. There's a lot of these, actually, that do have full-on news articles that you can actually see, that there are quite a few bits of lore and information, and they've taken like screenshots and concept art and worked it in there. That's really, really cool. I think it's unfortunate that they oh wait, hang on. No, they that's just that one particular one that uses the default text. That sucks. I guess they just ran out of time and didn't get that one, but it's cool that they did it for the other ones. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, it says, oh no, I'm at 100 or 1050 right now. Okay, so it does keep climbing. I wonder if there is an upper limit ever. I guess you're just gonna have to keep grinding to find out. Also, I hope you don't feel, I hope it's just like a fun thing, right? Like, don't feel like you're under any obligation or whatever. Just as a reminder, just to be clear, like, I didn't turn on that feature, and I don't expect anyone to like need to use it or anything like that. It doesn't mean anything, right? It's just an arbitrary thing that that you do put there. So if you're having fun with it, then by all means. But also, like, please don't feel any pressure. Please don't feel like you have to like work at it to earn your stream points or anything like that. I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble if I go down here, but also I like getting in trouble, so yeah, sorry also says, you don't have to apologize for that. I'm just glad to have a space to chill without constant slurs. Yeah. So I have to ask Sage about this. I'm not very confrontational, you know. In my head I always have like ideas of, oh, next time I see Sage, man, I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind about the Lightspeed Naruto and give him what for, and then like I start talking to him like, he's not a bad guy, like I need to get worked up about this. But I don't understand why Mort is still in the server. I don't get why. Like, Sage is well aware that he is abusive and homophobic, and there's a certain part every given day. 1 second. Oh my god. I should have been paying attention. There's a certain time every day where somebody will come in and immediately the entire vibe of the whole server just changes, like, immediately. And I'm like, why would you want that, you know? Damn, okay. Okay, this is gonna be a real son of a bitch, isn't it? Nice. can't believe I survived that. Oh my god, that's insane. Sarah says, oh no, I feel no obligation, I just see it now and I always have a number 1 by my name, yeah. Oh my god, I can't save you now. In fact, your god sent me here, yeah. What the fuck? I love this character design. I love how trolly the audio is too. But yeah, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do here.
Je suis prête.
Such a troll. Okay. I just gotta get the parries down, I guess. I think I can do this.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it. The little fairy fires or the St. Elmo's fires or whatever they are kind of like floating in separately. So look for the first shot, and then 1, and then 2. There we go. Nice. I think I can do this. It's gonna be hard, but I can do it.
Glace.
Nice. Okay. So, okay, spark, let's do low fire damage, targets weak to fire. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Ooh, nice. The sound effects are so trolly. Okay. So, I suppose... I gotta get better at, like, timing the parries there. There we go. Nice, okay. Counters are pretty effective too. Okay, so now I can start actually dealing some fire damage. There we go. I love how each character has their own like unique timing as well. So I can now actually consumes fire for increased damage. Okay, so if I start with an immolation and then switch over to Thunderfall, it'll do more damage. So let's try that. Immolation. The immolation will also do more damage because of the ice before. Nice. Oh, that's so satisfying. Okay, I'm not gonna talk much. I'm gonna just focus on the fight. That's so good. A lot of damage there. Okay, so now I should be able to. I'm in defensive. So I don't have anything right now that benefits transitioning out of defensive stance, but I can at least do Swift Stride because it is burning, so I'll benefit from that. Next time I can do like a big dramatic attack or something. Oh, but I won't even get there because I'm going to do this and I'm going to consume fire for extra bonus damage on it. Oh shit. Damn it, pushed the wrong button. Okay, that was still nice though. Yeah, I guess I'll just do this. That was close. He just wants to show off, he just wants to perform his concert. It's misunderstood in this time. Spark will put me into... I see. Okay, so I should do this. I'm starting to get a sense of like the flow between the different states. Nice. Kubadim. We're all up to level 12 now. Yeah. Ooh. Nice. Okay, so she's got a brand new weapon. That is awesome. Should probably heal as well. That was a really cool fight. I love the design of that character. Such an asshole. But also, I love how this game is like, it consistently has this effect where it throws something at you where I'm like, okay, that thing is going to absolutely end me. Like, there's nothing I can do. It's way stronger than me. I'll never be able to handle it. And then if you just like focus and pay attention, you know, then you're actually okay. I also love the fact that like it was, I don't know, there were just some things like very playful and very fun about that boss design, and the fact that it is amidst all of this terror and carnage and horror is just really very charming to me, for lack of a better phrase. So let me give that to Gustav. Shit. Inventory. Pictos. I just got it. Cleansing tint, energizing break. Let's give that to Gustav. Base attack plays defenseless. That's really good. We should keep that. Burn on free aim shot. That's not as good. Okay. Where did it? Energizing break. There we go. This one applies shell when falling below 50% health. That should probably go to Mael. So what else could I put on him? 50% increased break damage on base attack. Yeah, let's do counter. Oh wait, she has it already. Augmented aim. I guess that's fine because he's probably going to be the one who's doing like free aim stuff anyway. So then she can have 2 AP on doing damage to a marked target. That's fine, I guess. Mark on free aim shot. Okay, yeah, no, I don't need to do that. Okay, so now let's see. Base damage. No, I wanted to give her what? The shell. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the Picto stuff is starting to make more intuitive sense now that I've actually used it in combat a bit more. Got a little overwhelmed at first, but that's okay. Yeah, this combat system is really satisfying. It's really well designed. I like it a lot. Lots of opportunity for like expansion and expression and freedom. Nice nice little loop over here. Nice little detour, but worthwhile. I'm so fascinated at like, look, you can see the corals like crawling and pulsing and writhing with that blood texture. Ugh. It just makes me wonder like what else in this environment might be made out of like sorted materials. And how is this connected? So was this, is this a look into Lumiere's past? Like, does this go back to the expedition 67 years ago? When the shattering happened, did it take this with it, so to speak? Is this from 67 years ago? Or is it pulling in parts of like more modern day Lumiere? Very curious to know. Sorry, jeez. Chill. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, I think I might have missed a chat from you. 1 second. I'm gonna try to tab out here. Okay, so it looks like YouTube has been kept like a couple of your chats. Yeah, so when I pop out the YouTube chat window, it sets it to top chat, and for some reason it puts some of your chats in like a different category. So I need to go look. If I miss any of your messages, let me know, please, and I'll go back and look. I see something about the slur or whatever, and I will go check it out after this battle. Just not letting me see it right now. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, let's build up charges. I am kind of looking forward to getting some more abilities in there with Gustav. I think he needs more stuff to do. But so here's the thing. I can go straight into Virtuous. Right, so if I have Moon put on her fire damage attack. Then I can go straight into virtuous with on turn 1, which ups my damage without by even more, and prevents me from having to worry about the like bonus incoming damage as well. So virtuous stance costs 2 AP. I don't understand the percé because it says low physical damage 1 hit, increased damage. It causes a mark that causes increased damage. If I'm in virtuous stance, it costs 2 AP, but it costs 2 AP normally anyway. Or is it am I gaining AP when I go in different stances? Let me try that out. Or that works too. We can do it. Oh, the attack animations are so good. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And they're so varied. They're so detailed. Like, they could have very easily just given them, like, a little animation and just played a distant, particle effect or something on the target. But they're very thorough and very detailed. So let me see. I gotta change the chat over here. Okay. So it looks like it just... I see. So YouTube, I guess, when it detects anything that it considers that might be spicy, it just puts them in like the back chat instead. You said something that was actually relevant to a social issue. How dare you? Get out of top chat. So I'm reading your comment now. Sorry, said, also, I agree, so much blatant racism, ableism shielded with the we're all autistic nonsense, which I know isn't true because if it were, the R slur wouldn't get thrown around, and homophobia, it's gross. Yeah, and then that's also coupled with the, like, you know, I mean, I think I understand the idea behind it. What I remember watching this YouTube little mini documentary or something that this tree kind of looks like the silhouette of a person. I was just looking at that. This mini YouTube documentary, it might have been by ContraPoints, that was explaining like the psychology of 4chan and the idea, the philosophy theoretically behind a place like 4chan is that for people who feel like they are either considered to be gross or scumbags by society in general, who are looked down upon, who are considered like misfits and undesired and stuff like that. That the appeal of someplace like 4chan is that you gather with other people who fit that description to form some sort of camaraderie despite being undesired in general by society in general. And then as a signifier, as like a sign, maybe that's not the right term for it, but as like a shibboleth, is that the right term? It basically is like a way of talking in code to one another. Like, I'm not gonna say the slur out loud, but you know, like, hey, F slur, you fucking stupid idiot bitch, good to see you. And then they would respond by saying, as if it's not good to see you, you dumb piece of poo-poo caca asshole. And it sounds very like abrasive and awful on the surface, but what you don't understand is that it's actually their bonding, right? Because that's what people on the outside call them, and they can call each other that because it's like their way of reclaiming it. It then belongs to them. And it's not for me to say, hey, people aren't allowed to do that, right? That's their way of trying to form a community around the subversion of the awful things that have been said to them. The problem with that is that it eventually starts to mutate, and then people start to get confused, especially new people who aren't in on the joke, so to speak, and think that people are just saying those things because it's just cool to say them. And then it mutates into this thing where it's like there's a whole other group of people there who never quote-unquote earned that, who really just like dropping slurs, and now they feel emboldened and empowered and cool for doing so. And that's not okay. And when other people, when it's not a place like 4chan, when it's more of a place that like anybody can participate in, it's like supposed to be an open, friendly kind of community, and some people just decide, I'm going to act like this as if I was in a place like 4chan, and I'm going to just say whatever I want, and I don't care how it affects other people. And if somebody calls me out on that, I'm actually going to get upset and indignant because, hey, why are you telling me how I can and can't talk? Like, you're being too sensitive. You're being, which by the way, is basically saying you have empathy and care about how words affect people. Therefore, like, you're the bad person because you're potentially restricting something that I want to say by making me care about empathy. And we can't do that. Like, empathy is like for assholes. Anyway, it just gets like super convoluted and toxic and weird. And then I think at this point in this context, it's really hard to argue that this is just some genuine attempt to, connect with friends over shared being on the receiving end of stuff. Especially when people like Mort come forward and say like, no, literally, you disgust me, your lifestyle, quote unquote lifestyle, disgusts me, like who you are as a person, who you love, I find it sickening to my stomach. He said that to me in a chat with Sage, present in the calls, and as far as I know, no moderation was taken. He's still in the server. Like, nobody really spoke. I think, what's his name? Monoichi actually kind of spoke up in my defense and, like, helped kind of calm him down a little bit, but, that's it, You have to wonder, like, what's going on there. I don't know. I can only speculate. But, yeah, I mean, certainly, I just, while we're being candid and while I'm sharing, I really, believe it or not, I don't like irritating people, and I don't like getting on people's bad side, even when I am genuinely very strong convictions about, like, this is wrong. I'm very hesitant to start shit with anybody because I'm like, well, what if there's something that I'm not considering, or what if I misinterpreted this, or what if they have something, they already had a bad day, they don't want to get into a fight with me about this, like, I don't want to start shit. But what I found is that, like, if you don't say anything, like, nothing changes, right? So, I mean, the number of times that I have been in the server and somebody has dropped an ableist or homophobic or racist slur, and I decided not to say anything, well, for sure nothing changes then. For sure nobody does anything about it then. And I think I'm just personally getting to this point in my life where I'm kind of bored and annoyed. Granted, this is something that I imposed upon myself, but I'm like kind of irritated at the internal voice that says, no, you have to do the extra homework, right? Like, because this other person is being, a homophobe, for example, that's your cue to make sure you work extra hard to make sure not to upset him any further and not to, like, cause any confrontation. Like, no, maybe it's the homophobic asshole who needs to be doing more work. Maybe it's time for me to, like, actually start addressing the topic directly as opposed to just, I don't know, skirting around it, if that makes any sense. So yeah, sorry if this was a bit of a rant. It's not really relevant to the game, but it is relevant to gaming communities and, like, nerd communities in general. Like, specifically about Naruto, you would figure that if anybody has read Naruto up to the fucking Gaara arc, which is in, like, chapter, 130, something like that, right? You don't have to read that far into it. You don't have to be pouring through data books and shit like that, right? Everybody knows who Gaara is. Everybody who's read Naruto, watched Naruto, has gotten through the Chunin exams and has seen the Gaara fight. That's, like, maybe one of the most important parts in the whole series. The most, at least for me, the most foundational parts in the whole series. Yes, Pain thinking that he's a god and thinking that he's going to bring about peace through subjugation is an interesting and compelling thing. Yes, the Akatsuki members are cool, and seeing them fight and seeing their new gimmicks and stuff is a cool and compelling thing. Yes, that's true. But the real emotional heart and soul and core of the series, its advent was with stuff like the Gaara versus Naruto fight. That, like, recognizing your enemy, seeing yourself in your enemy, and deciding, I'm going to disengage from this. Like, I am not going to perpetually see you as my enemy. I'm going to find a way to get through to you, and I'm not taking no for an answer. We are going to resolve this. We're not going to leave this as enemies. That was one of the most pivotal and important and inspiring parts of the series, and that theme just like echoes consistently over and over throughout the rest of the whole series. You would figure that like that kind of series would bring people together that would share a perspective that was similar on that issue. So I don't know where the misunderstanding is happening. You know, like, it's weird that I have to like debate certain people on the topic of whether or not empathy is a valuable human resource. Like, I got into a debate with somebody about whether or not it is appropriate to be empathetic to the struggles of other people in a fucking Naruto server. Like, I don't know how you go from like the Gaara fight and calling yourself a Naruto fan to then turn around and argue against empathy on principle. It's fucking weird. It doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I'm missing some chats here. Saria says they just make everyone look cool as hell just cause they can, when they could just do standard bullshit sword swings and stuff because everyone's flipping around and shit. Yeah, they're flipping around, and also like they have unique kind of quirky ways of revealing their character. Like Lune, jumps up and kicks with her feet specifically, as I'm sure you've noticed, and then Mael has a tendency to be more sort of refined and elegant and switch between her stances, and then Gustav as well is much more sort of fluid and flowy and liquid-like, and I don't know, his sword swings feel like brush strokes. They each have their own like personality as well. It's not like they just had a shared set of animations kind of pushed between them. Sari also says, I agree on the same way. It's gotten to a point for me where I'm just like, this sucks. Yeah. It's why when I'm around now, I'm a lot more open. Like, man, you guys are horrible because I'm tired. Yeah, I've kind of gotten to the same point. It's just like, you know what? Because I didn't want to cause a confrontation or be an asshole or get in people's way, I didn't say anything. And then just statistically speaking, the number of messages in the server has more people saying homophobic things than people saying, hey, don't be homophobic. So I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna start like, I don't care at this point if it starts some confrontation, because there needs to be less of this. At the end of the day, I want the numbers to shift. I want the balance to shift, even if it's only by 1% or a fraction of 1%. I don't feel good just sitting here and trying to play nice and just seeing this continue to go on and on and on. I have to at least say something. And so I did, and usually people get upset. And I'm sorry, I don't want people to get upset. I don't want to be like the boring dad who just tells everybody that they can't have fun. They can't cuss on the internet because it's not proper. But I mean, there's a limit, you know? And at this point, like, call me selfish or whatever, but it's what I want to see. I personally, selfishly, don't want to see a bunch of homophobic, idiotic nonsense every day. So I'm going to act in my own best interest and try to get that shit out of my face. If that's me being unfair, then whatever. At this point, I don't know if there's a better way to handle it. So we shall see. Internet drama is internet drama. News at 11. What was I doing with her? More raw damage for her. I just want her to be like a cannon that just charges up and then explodes in like a massive fucking like nuke every once in a while. Okay. So, okay, we got 6. Can break if target is broken by the hit, overcharges full charge. Gives very high single target damage, 6 hits, uses weapons other than critical hits to generate additional 2 charges. Why is all this stuff locked off, I wonder? Oh, this does grant more charges as well. Maybe I should take this, because I can't afford the other one anyway. Okay. Let's see. She has 3. Deals high single target physical damage, 3 hits. If in virtuous stance, stay in virtuous stance. Oh, okay. And can break. Yeah, I need that immediately. Thank you. So, guard up, spark, okay. So let me see. Deals. Okay, I gotta kind of organize this a little bit. So, spark deals low single target fire damage, 1 hit, applies 3 burn, and if inoffensive, applies 2 more burn. They should go here. Okay. Offensive switch deals low single target damage and applies defenseless for 3 turns, 1 hit, uses weapons element. They should actually go here, and then spark should go here. Okay, so per se. Per se is deals medium 1 hit. Increased damage to marked targets. Virtuous stance costs 2 AP. Okay. Oh! Weird. Okay. I wonder if there was something else that's reducing the ability, because in game, in combat, it was showing up as costing 2 AP. So I was like, why the fuck is it saying it only costs 2 AP when in virtuous stance? And it's because I was already in virtuous stance like an idiot. So okay, that makes sense now. Actually, let's keep per se, and then like offensive switch, flurry, and where's this one? Per se. Okay, and then dégagement deals low single fire damage, becomes weak to fire damage. Let's do spark, and then swift stride. Yeah. Or offensive switch, guard up. What does swift stride do actually? Yeah, okay. Switches to virtual status, target is burning. Okay, so I think I want this up top. Sorry, let me just... Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, sorry, my brain just needed to have things organized differently. What about you? 4 points. What do we got? We can have... Deals medium fire damage to all enemies, applies burn, consumes... I want more ice-related shit. Costs 0 AP if we're doing lightning-related things. Maybe... What does this do? This high single time earth, break damage. But I can also break that. 5-7. Okay. Deals low single target ice damage, 2 hits. Gains 4 AP if the target is burning. Consumes 2 earth plates. Consumes all stains to deal high elemental damage to the target. Can break if 4 stains are consumed. Okay, yeah. This looks good. Yeah. Rock slide. Single target earth damage. It can break. Well, this one can break too. And it seems like it's doing better. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat. Barry says, this is what I said to Distray when talking to him because he's a mod. I was like, bro, why is everyone but you, John, and Darth a bigoted asshole, and that's okay in an Arto server? Yeah, shout out to Distray. Like, every time I've heard them, him talk, he's been, I'll say them until corrected, they've been, you know, very positive, very friendly, and like, hi everyone, I hope you're having a good day. How are you today? Oh, it's so nice to see you, right? Which is like, what are you doing here? Like, where did you come from? In a good way. But then, yeah, like, there are definitely mods who care and who respond, and Sage as well. I don't, like, he's clearly not homophobic, he doesn't support that shit, but then, I don't know, there's just like a weird disconnect that I can't quite resolve. Also, there's this guy who got the cast of Clair Obscur tattooed all over his arm, apparently. Well, I'm scared of getting tattoos personally. That's sick. Yes. So I have a couple of video game tattoos, actually, and I want more. I might get one from this. I'm very tempted to. If you could get a tattoo, what would you get? Do you have any ideas of what you, like, how you might get it started? Oh, beautiful. Whoa.
Attention!
Ça va?
Il a surgi au moment... Il va attaquer!
Okay, yeah, this is gonna be... Sorry. Damn it. So close. This is going to be like a Nier Automata, like a Nier thing, right? Like, where we find out at the end that all of these creatures, the Nevrons, were actually like the souls of people who got brought in from Lumiere and reworked into paintings or something like that. Like, it turns out that we were actually The fucking soundtrack is crazy. It's incorporating like elements of something that sounds like it sounds like fucking Dead Mouse, and it's got like the side chaining electronic pulse, and like, wow, that is a very bold choice for this game. Very cool. I have such mixed feelings about it. I feel like aesthetically, like timbrally, it doesn't really fit, but it's just so surprising and jarring, and it sounds cool. Yeah, there's like all kinds of synth stuff happening, like that arpeggiated. God damn, they just like. I feel like the director was like, hey, listen, here's the deal. We're French. You know what you're doing. Just fucking make something cool. And like everybody was just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's just fucking do it. Let's try it. Let's do crazy stuff. Some of it might not work. Some of it might be a little off the wall. Some of it might be excessive. But we're gonna do this, and we're gonna bring it all together. It was just they're taking so many risks, and I really appreciate that they are. I don't agree with all of them, but yeah, just crazy, crazy good. Yeah, I have 2 tattoos right now. Sorry, I would like to get more. I would like a full sleeve. I have all kinds of ideas, but like, I'm also like slightly, well, I don't want to get too personal with the tattoo stuff. I have a reason why I'm waiting that I can talk about separately in Discord. But at the moment, yeah, I would love to get a Outer Wilds tattoo, Clair Obscur tattoo, an Elden Ring tattoo, Bloodborne. Like, I want to spend some more time designing them, but eventually, yeah, definitely. I didn't think you'd be the type, but yes, I want a Triforce and a Mael tat. Yes, that sounds wonderful. You should go and do it if you feel comfortable. If you have any questions about like what my process was, I can say that I got one tattoo on my wrist, and I was pretty scared because I thought it would affect. First of all, I thought it was going to be pretty painful, and I also thought I was going to get shit from employers or whatever. But it's never come up, and it was sort of annoying, pain-wise. But for me, it was like a mosquito stinging me like 562 times, which sucks, but it's not that bad. Like, people describe it as like really intense. I'm not trying to front, like, it's not that I have a super high pain tolerance, it's just that it wasn't particularly bad. And the shoulder, I have another one on my shoulder, and it's not, so that wasn't so bad either. Saria says, I'd be curious why you don't think I would be a tattoo type. I don't know. I think a lot of different people get tattoos for different reasons, so I'm curious why. No judgment or anything, I'm just curious why you came to that conclusion. Saria says, these enemies and their pauses are always so insane to me. Like, what do you mean you took 3 minutes to swing your sword and I failed to parry? I'll see you in court. Exactly. Your Honor, I object to having the ever-loving shit kicked out of me every turn. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna just start with this. Damn, okay. We're gonna need to figure out his weaknesses, and fast. Nice that Mael is like bouncing impatiently. I think I'm gonna start with Immolation because I like Mael starting off benefiting from the burning. So let's see. Senseless, low fire damage to switch to offensive, high physical damage if in virtuous, but if I go to Swift Stride, I switch to virtuous and I gain 0 to 2 AP. So let's try that. Nice fight.
Sur moi.
Well, the damage wasn't too bad. I still feel like I'm missing something, but
Il faut s'en débarrasser.
Une tempête approche.
alright. Can I do Thunderfall?
Foudre. Frappe.
Nice. Okay. Grows flowers. Oh, maybe I should have saved the Thunderfall. Whoops. I think she doesn't really have like an attack that does a lot of damage to a lot of different things, so I'm going to still stick with my fire. Applies defenseless 1 hit. Where's the one that applies fire weakness? That's dégagement. But if I'm in virtuous stance, this costs 2 AP. Increased damage, high physical damage, if resistance. Yeah, let's try for the. Damn, nice, okay. Oh, I feel like she used that attack on me when I was fighting her in the beginning, during like the test battles or whatnot. I think I will try to take care of some of these first. You know what's kind of messing with me is the slow motion effect. It's kind of making it harder to judge timing. That's okay, I'll figure it out. Alright, so now I'm in virtuous stance, and I can... so if I time perce with Gustav's mark, then it will do more damage. For now, let me try this. Low fire damage. I'm not inoffensive yet, but if I go to dégagement... Oh damn, okay. Okay, got to carry it there. Let's see. Okay, I'm in overcharge, but I don't have enough, so I think I just want to focus on defending until I can do that. Same thing with this. Earth Rising is not exactly what I wanted to do, but it should take care of the flowers, I think. I hope. Nope.
Faites attention.
Okay, did I have something that could break? I thought she did. Oh yeah. High physical damage if in virtuous stance. Okay. So... and this will take me to defensive. Shit. Well, I could have applied the charges. Do I have enough? Yes. Okay, so I can do overcharge now. Nice, another break. Okay. Now, I think I will take a second and actually just get a little bit of healing. Alright, let's see. So I'm in defensive stance now. If I switch to offensive, I have 3 spark. Okay, already. There we go. More burns. Okay, so I think basically we've won at this point. Or maybe not. I should have taken care of the flowers. Oh boy. Doesn't bode well. Let's see. Let's just do this. Yeah, pretty much done anyway. Okay, I know I parried that. Come on. Low physical damage switches to virtual stance if target is burning. Yep. Okay. So what do we got as a finisher? It's not fully charged, but still. Nice, okay. It's kind of a lame finisher, but that's okay. The music is really genuinely crazy in a good way. Target says, "Oh no, I hope it didn't come off as an insult." Oh no, I was just kind of curious. I just meant because I feel so in sync with you and I'm personally terrified of needles, I thought, this guy gets it, he knows getting pierced sucks. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever get like an ear piercing or a septum piercing or anything like that. But I really wanted, I guess, like a rite of passage. The first time I got one was when I was in a point in my life where I felt like I was a little bit lost for direction, and I really just wanted to do something that said like, like tattoos were things that cool people got, and I wasn't cool. Like tattoos were for people who were in a certain sort of shape. Like you had to be buff. Like I had all these like weird cognitive distortions and preconceived notions of like who was allowed to get a tattoo, and I thought like people would think less of me, and I thought that it would, I don't know, I had, like I said, all these like negative thoughts and assumptions about it. And so I decided I'm going to get this for me, to celebrate myself, to celebrate the art that I like. So it's art from a video game, something that means a lot to me, and it's going to be for that reason alone, and nobody else is going to have an input. And it was one of the first things that I did that was like, no, I'm not checking with anybody else. I'm not asking for anybody's permission. It's not about whether my parents or my partner or friends like it. This is for me. I saved up for it. I planned it. I researched it. I helped with the design. I spent months picking out an artist. This is fucking mine. This belongs to me. I went and got it done on my fucking birthday, and I kind of wanted it to hurt because I wanted it to be like a rite of passage kind of thing. Like, this is me moving from a place of not being able to, like, always having to ask for permission to accept myself, to just fucking doing something nice for myself. And then the second one was, like, less intense, but yeah. Goblu is, actually a reference to the YouTuber Globku. This is not true, but it would be really funny. Non-derogatory.
Attends! Il a l'air paisible. Du moment qu'on ne touche pas aux fleurs.
Évitons de nous laisser attendrir. Ça reste une création de la peintresse.
Oh putain! Mais merde, Maël, c'était quoi ça?
Il m'avait l'air familier,
Oh
je
shit.
crois. Gustave, on comprendra jamais ce qui se passe si tu tires sur tout ce qui bouge.
Tiens, un arbre rouge. Le village de Gestral doit être tout près.
Tu sais de quoi les névrons sont capables?
Elle est grande.
Elle est grande.
I like that scene a lot. You know, it's interesting. I have to go back and replay the game on my own time. Shape of Health. Because I want to how do you say? I feel like I had a preconceived notion of oh, they're so grimy, I love it. A preconceived notion of what the different characters are. Oh, it's a massive cuttlefish. Holy shit, I love it. And a whale. And I thought from a previous scene that that Lune was pretty much like a very by the books, like this is how this gets done, rules are the rules type person, stay on mission, stay focused. And Gustav was a bit more like loose and free, I suppose. And that seemed to change very quickly and have its role reversed, to the point where now, like, Gustav has kind of become a bit of a maniac and, like, a bit bloodlusted and very, like, focused and driven, like, narrow-minded. And Lune is the one who's actually being like, wait, calm down. Let's analyze the situation. Let's make sure that we're not acting hastily. I kind of thought it was going to go the other direction. But I suppose that's a bit of a trope, so it's nice that they're not just doing that. Yeah, I'd be curious to see where it goes. I like that Maël was the one to really try to connect with the enemy. I have a theory as to what that creature is, and I don't know if I should say it, but because it seems a little bit silly, but Saria says, and I wasn't cool. Nobody who thinks they're... Oh, hang on, let me watch this. Nice callback to the intro scene.
Toujours trop loin.
Je ne m'attendais pas à ce que ce soit comme ça ici.
Pas étonnant. Mais... Tu vas bien?
Mourir ici, c'est pas comme à Lumière, pas vrai? Je croyais être habituée à perdre des proches. La vie d'un enfant adoptif, hein. Mais pas comme ça. Sur la plage. Cet homme...
Oui. Oui, je sais. Les névrons, je veux bien, on était préparés, mais ça... Et maintenant qu'on a découvert qu'il y avait des survivants, c'est... Tu vois, c'est ça qui est insidieux avec le gommage. Il est prévisible, presque indolore. Du coup, à Lumière, on en est venu à l'accepter, mais... Le gommage n'en est pas moins violent, et cette mort... est tout aussi définitive.
Je fais des cauchemars.
Mais moi aussi. Écoute, si la mort approche, pars en courant. Non, 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 promets-le-moi. Cours. Surtout si on revoit l'homme de la plage. On ne peut pas le battre, tu le vois? Tu cours.
Seulement si tu en fais autant.
Oh, crois-moi que si je l'aperçois, je prends mes jambes à mon cou.
Oh.
Je courrai si vite que tu me verras même pas.
Tu rigoles? T'es un vieillard. Je te laisse sur place quand je veux.
Bah voyons. Autrefois, à 30 ans, on était jeunes, tu sais.
Bah voyons.
Hello, friend.
Étonnant de vous voir ici.
J'espère qu'on peut lui faire confiance.
Au moins, on va pouvoir améliorer nos pictos.
So yeah, that scene was really great. You got the sense that both of these characters have so much weight on their shoulders. They've been through so much, and they're not yet entirely willing, or maybe even, sure how to start to bridge the gap between the two of them, and to connect, through each other's barriers, so to speak. But still, there's a genuine tenderness and love between them, and they are managing to find that despite the chaos, despite the trauma, little by little. And the way that it turns from the nightmare into the connection and the humor, the way that they try to kind of like gently reach out and connect with each other in that moment, is really, really good. That scene was really good. I like that a lot. Sawyer says, and I wasn't cool. Nobody who thinks they're cool is cool. You're literally one of the coolest friends I've made, not just on the internet, but just in general. You're cool. Thank you. That's really, really sweet and lovely, and I really appreciate that. You're fucking awesome yourself as well. And I'm very grateful that you've taken so much time to spend with us on the stream, and to engage with me and talk about, and to share both your knowledge and expertise about the astrophysics stuff, going back to the Naruto, but also just to chill and to, share what's going on in your life, and to share your ideas and thoughts. It's been great. I mean, you've been such a positive voice on the streams and in the Discord and everything. Very encouraging, as well as I've been finding my footing and gaining confidence and stuff like that. So, and you're just really awesome. The stories that you tell about what you've got going on in your life, your interests and stuff. Yeah, I hope you know that you are fucking cool too, and I really appreciate the kind words. Are you saying? I thought you were referencing the he's just standing there menacingly, but he's technically floating. So, oh whoa, what's up with his jacket there? You see that? His cloak is like pop, 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 pop. Okay. Larry is the evil cat meme, by the way. Not familiar with that, but I'm gonna have to look it up after this. Hello. You terrify me, but that's okay. Oh, finally I can upgrade some weapons. The curator can upgrade weapons. The list of available weapons for the current character is shown on the left of the screen. It can be sorted by power, by level, or alphabetically. Thank you very much. Weapons are the main source of attack power. Passive effects from weapons can't be learned as Lumina, and are only active as the weapon is equipped. Okay, that's fair. Weapons also scale their damage from some of your attributes. For example, a weapon that scales with agility means that the more agility the character has, the more damage the weapon will deal. Okay, that makes sense. Would have been nice to have learned some of this stuff before, but I figured it out. Curator can upgrade your weapons using chroma catalysts. Upgrading weapons increases their attack power and attribute scaling, and can unlock new passive effects at specific rarity levels. Weapons of different qualities require different chroma catalysts to be upgraded. I see. Okay, so it's like very similar to a Dark Souls type thing. Well, it doesn't seem like these are getting additional abilities. Right now, Abyssaram is power 97 goes to 130, and it gets more vitality scaling. But Rouleram goes from 103 to 139 and gets defense and luck scaling. Noaram gets like nothing. I wonder if this is going to be one of these things where like if we upgrade the base weapon, it secretly becomes like a monster later on. But I guess Krularam seems to be more base damage and element, but eventually might get outscaled by Abyssaram, because Abyssaram is just like normal. So I only have one polished chroma catalyst. I think I'm more interested in like this, like upgrading this stuff. So Krularam here is going to apply burn on crits. That seems like it's pretty intense. For her, I only have one polished chroma, so lightning skills cost 1 less AP. That's pretty good. Lightarim, fire skills cost 1 less AP. Start a battle with 1 ice stain, 1 fire stain. Lunarium doesn't have anything like that yet. And Troubadim, free aim shots deal damage to an additional random target. Interesting. That is pretty cool, but the base power of this is 118 versus this would be 110, and it's more lightning. I like lightning more, so I think I'm going to upgrade this, except if I upgrade hers, it goes up by a big amount, and it enhances critical attacks, but I'm not using crit that much. So I find like this system has some compelling choices. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to, I think, upgrade hers for now. Cool. And I am kind of curious though, if I go back to Noaram and upgrade this. I have 40 of them. No, it just doesn't. Okay. I was curious. I thought, sorry, says, I thought you were going to say his cape is hot too, and I was going to say, John, go to sleep. I might. Yeah, depending on how late it gets, like, my goofiness level might increase, I'm not going to lie. But honestly, I mean, this seems like a good place to end it, right? Like, I mean, we are making some progress. We're at a beautiful location, at the end of a natural kind of lull in the story, I think. So yeah, let's call it a night, and we can get back to things next time. I think this was really genuinely a lot of fun, both in talking to you as well as just experiencing what the world had to offer in this game. I'm still loving it. I really did find the voice of that one character to be quite annoying, but you know, it didn't ruin the experience for me or anything like that. So I think I'm curious to see the village of these creatures. You know, it's going to be interesting to see where that leads. But that can be something we look into next time. So yeah, thank you very much to anybody who stopped by and checked out the stream, or anybody who's watching in the video on demand upload after the fact. This is great. Please let me know if you have any questions or suggestions or thoughts or anything like that. We're going to continue playing through the whole game over the next few weeks, but we're only going to be playing it on Thursday, so I'm not going to get ahead or be playing it on the weekends or anything like that. This Sunday, another Naruto stream starting at 6 p.m. EST. Don't exactly know what I'm going to talk about. It's probably going to be another Pain stream, because I think we're going to, like, talking about the Pain versus Konoha fight. Sage and I actually had like a friendly discussion, pseudo debate type thing yesterday in VC, and got a chance to get off my chest some of the things that I've been thinking about the light speed scaling and stuff like that. But so I had to think about like how to progress the conversation in a positive way going forward, because basically I understand where he's coming from, and I think he understands where I'm coming from, and this also applies to other people in the community that have this disagreement. I think, what can I say? I'm trying to figure out how can I actually contribute positively to reconciling, because I can keep saying the stuff that I already believe, and I can provide more and more evidence for the things that I already believe, but at this point I don't think it's a question of like not having enough evidence. I think it's a question of like articulating things and making a connection about it effectively, and that's what I'm struggling to do. So I'm going to figure out, you know, whether that's something I can do this Sunday. If so, I'll do that, talk about data books and lightspeed. If not, that'll be next week or the weekend after. I haven't forgotten about the Dark Souls 2 music stream, just need to find the right time for it. But other than that, yes, we continue. Good luck with your Friday. Have a great day. Have a great start to your weekend, and I'll see you next time.